big round of applause for our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Kanakvardan Singh Deoji, Dr. Upali Panilage, Honorable Minister of Rural Development, Social Security and Community Empowerment, Sri Lanka, Shri Suryavanshi Suraj, Honorable Minister, Odia Language, Literature and Culture, Sports and Youth Services, Government of Odisha, Shri Binod Chaudhary, industrialist, philanthropist and author, Nepal, Shri Sudarshan Sahu, Padma Vibhushan awardee and celebrated sculptor, Dr. Pratibha Rai, eminent writer and Gyanpith awardee, Dr. Ranjan Samal, if he's here with us, Ms. Tanaya Patnaik, editor Sambad and Connect News, being escorted by KLF patron and CEO, Shri Ashok Bada, and KLF founder, Shri Rashmi Ranjan Parida. I'll request all of them to please proceed for lighting the ceremonial lamp. That marks the auspicious beginning. Can we have a big round of applause? Subha Arambo, Kalinga Literary Festival Raw. Once again, a very warm welcome to our esteemed dignitaries. I'll request them to please join us on stage with a huge round of applause from all of you. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Kanakvardan Singh Deoji, Dr. Upali Panilage, Honorable Minister of Rural Development, Social Security and Community Empowerment, Sri Lanka, Shri Suryavanshi Suraj, Honorable Minister, Odia Language, Literature and Culture, Sports and Youth Services, Government of Odisha, Shri Binod Chaudhary, industrialist, philanthropist and author, Nepal. Yes. Shri Harivansh Narayan Singh, Honorable Deputy Chairman, Rajya Sabha, will be joining us in a very short while. We also have Shri Sudarshan Sahu, Padma Vibhushan awardee and celebrated sculptor, Dr. So warm welcome to all our dignitaries who are already here with us. Thank you. Can I in fact request everyone to now please rise for the national anthem? Can I request everyone?
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you everyone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, it's a customary practice. We would like to welcome and felicitate all our esteemed guests on dais with Uttariya and mementos. May I request KLF mentor and CEO Shri Ashok Bada and KLF founder and director Shri Rashmi Ranjan Parida to do the honors together and request them to first welcome our chief guest, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Kanak Vardhan Singh Deo. All right, we are welcoming everyone on stage. Dr. Upali Panilage, Honorable Minister of Rural Development, Social Security and Community Empowerment. Shri Harivansh Narayan Singhji will be joining in a very short while. We also have Shri Suryavanshi Suraj, Honorable Minister, Odia Language, Literature and Culture. Dr. Binod Chaudhary, industrialist and philanthropist from Nepal. Shri Sudarshan Sahu, Padma Vibhushan Awardee, legendary sculptor. Dr. Pratibha Rai, eminent writer, Gyanpith Awardee. And Ms. Tanaya Patnaik, editor, Sambad and Kanak News. All right. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a matter of pride for all of us to have witnessed the journey of Kalinga Literary Festival, a festival whose seeds were sown in the historic land of Kalinga, but whose ideas, conversations, and cultural resonance today travels far beyond geography. What began as a modest literary initiative in Odisha has over the years evolved into one of India's most respected literary platforms, bringing together writers, thinkers, artists, policymakers, and creators from across the country and the world. With successful international editions in Kathmandu and expanding global footprint with upcoming festivals in Bali and Colombo, KLF today stands as a cultural bridge between India and the world. Rooted firmly in Odia Asmita, yet global in its outlook, the Kalinga Literary Festival has consistently championed dialogue across language, discipline, and generation. On that inspiring note, may I now request the patron and CEO of Kalinga Literary Festival, Shri Ashok Kumar Bada, whose leadership and mentorship have been instrumental in shaping the vision and taking KLF to new heights, to kindly deliver the welcome address and set the context for the 4 days of literary celebration ahead. Let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Esteemed Chief Guest, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Sri Kanak Vardhan Singh Deoji, esteemed guests of honor, Dr. Upali Panilage, the Minister for Rural Development, Social Empowerment, Sri Lanka, Honorable Sri Suryavanshi Surajji, the Minister Odia Language, Literature, Culture, respected Binod Chaudhary, the industrialist and philanthropist from Nepal, Padma Vibhushan Awardee Sri Sudarshan Sahu, Gyanapith Award winner Padma Vibhushan Dr. Pratibha Rai, esteemed writers, translators, artists, publishers, students, friends of literature from India, across the world, print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of KLF, I extend to all of you a very warm welcome to its 12th edition. I deem it an immense privilege and a great honor to welcome our distinguished guests to this beautiful temple city of Bhubaneswar, and sincerely hope that their stay here will be rewarding and memorable. Your presence has lent luster to this event and inspires us to take this festival to a greater height in future. We need your support, patronage, goodwill, advice, cooperation to accomplish this task. The confluence of dignitaries on the dais reminds me of a very special characteristic. At the outset, I bow in deep respect to our Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Kanakvardhan Singh Devji, whose leadership embodies a rare blend of tradition and transformation, and whose presence this evening gives profound strength to the idea that culture or literature is not peripheral to governance. It is central to it. Sir, your presence tells us that development is incomplete without dignity and progress is hollow without cultural confidence. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guest of honor, to Dr. Upali Panilage, joining us from Sri Lanka. Sir, your presence reminds us that South Asia is not a geopolitical expression alone, but a literary and civilizational family. To Suryavanshi Surajji, your stewardship of Odia language and culture ensures and reaffirms that our mother tongues are not inherited passively, but carried forward and cultivated consciously. To Binod Chaudhary, sir, your journey tells young people that entrepreneurship and philanthropy, like literature, must serve society. Sri Sudarshan Sahuji and Dr. Pratibha Rai, both of you are living libraries of art and literature. Your presence adds luster and dignity to this festival. To Tanaya Patnaik, the youngest and the dynamic editor of the largest circulated newspaper in Odisha, who believes that a newspaper can be an effective medium of spreading art and literature and not necessarily headlines, thus bringing literature closer to the people. Sir, let me begin with a candid confession. When we first dreamt Kalinga Literary Festival, we did not imagine a stage this large, a gathering this diverse, and a movement this significant. We imagined a conversation where languages would not compete, where ideas would not shout, where literature would not be confined to shelves, where culture would not be frozen in museums. We imagined a space where words could walk, where translation could heal, where stories could save humanity. And today, standing before you and standing in Bhubaneswar, the sacred confluence of history, heritage, literature, craft, and consciousness, I can say with humility and gratitude that conversation that began in 2014 has now become a movement. Sir, a word about the core values and objectives of KLF will be in order, I suppose. Over the last 12 years, KLF has actively sought to provide a vibrant platform to authors, readers, and the general public for a meaningful exchange of ideas, for promotion of the reading habit, elevating voices, fostering intellectual debates, celebrating linguistic and cultural diversity, and strengthening the foundation of our wonderfully inclusive culture and civilization. Sir, our journey so far has been very exciting. Sir, we need your unstinted support for our future journey. Sir, as far as KLF is concerned, our annual festival is held in Bhubaneswar every year. Besides this, we hold a KLF Book Award function in Delhi. Last year it was held in India International Center in Delhi. And this year it is going to be held on 7th March. Then as a part of our Southeast Asian Cultural Outreach Initiative, we have been holding a festival which is called Kathmandu KLF Festival. And every year we have it. And then, in fact, this year we plan to have in Colombo. In fact, the presence of the Sri Lankan minister is a testimony of the future collaboration which KLF would have with Sri Lankan counterparts. So we intend to have either in May or June a Colombo edition. So the Indonesian government has been requesting us to have a festival in Bali. Because of the resource constraint and time constraints, we will not be able to have it in this year. So maybe next year we can think of having it in Bali. So besides this, sir, we've thought that the children or the students are a very, very important stakeholder. So for the first time, the KLF had a collaborative festival in Ahmedabad, which was a grand success. And as a part of our continuing initiative, we have the Bhav Sambad, where we discuss on various topics. We call on literature, arts, science, and anything that concerns society on an ongoing basis. Sir, with your permission, let me turn to this year's festival and draw your attention to the key theme and a few initiatives we have undertaken to achieve the core objectives which I outlined below, which I outlined earlier. So this year's festival is very unique. It will have 120 sessions with more than 4 speakers or panelists from all over India and abroad. Sir, we are having participation for more than 10 countries this year. And the sessions cover a wide range of topics of art, culture, history, heritage, science, politics, memories, and spiritualism. We are trying to present the varied aspects of literature to the audience. So the central theme of the festival this year is literature across borders. And we lay emphasis on the indispensable role that translators play in enabling humanity, transcending linguistic, geographical, and cultural barriers. Sir, we feel that translation is central to literature today, and, and because the rich diversity, and it is particularly important for India, because India is a land of languages, it's a land of diverse cultures, and it's a land of diverse religions. So therefore, the rich diversity has to be understood, promoted, and brought closer to the people. This will help in breaking barriers, promoting understanding, and cross-cultural dialogue. We are fortunate that this year there are 2 outstanding and renowned translators with us, Daisy Raquel and Deepa Vasti, the winners of the prestigious Booker Award, and who have made possible to translate works written in Hindi and Kannada to different languages. So their presence and participation is a testimony to the importance that KLF gives to translation. So KLF also seeks to foster a sense of inclusiveness of culture and widen the definition of literature to include many forms of creativity and self-expression, such as science, music, and visual arts. So this year's festival includes a discussion with an internationally renowned scientist, painters, and musicians, and hopes to broaden and deepen our vision of literature and culture. Sir, we consistently strive to combat elitism in our conception of literature by constantly focusing on the magical and mundane and discovering extraordinary possibilities in what is deceptively ordinary and unremarkable. KLF has therefore remained unwaveringly committed to bring literature within the reach of everyone. Sir, this year, sir, we have taken 2 very interesting initiatives. For the first time, we thought that while the authors are respected, the readers need to be respected as well, because the equivalence between the authors and readers is becoming tilted in favor of authors. So therefore, there is a need to promote reading habits particularly among the youth. So as a part of that mission, we had a collaboration with Penguin India, and we launched what is called a National Book Read and Review Competition. Similarly, for Odia, we had a collaboration with Sambad, and we had we invited Pustak Samikhya competition. Sir, I take it with pride and satisfaction that the response has been overwhelming, and we'll be awarding those winners in this function itself. So, sir, I will not like to waste much time, but then I'll end my speech with a, Upanishadic wisdom. So the wisdom says, na sabdam vidhati na maunam tayor madhye yat tadeva satyam. It means truth is not only in words and not only in silence. The truth is in between. And the space between these two is very wide and diverse. So KLF tries to be in that space. Thank you very much. And sir, welcome again to this festival.
Thank you so much, Shibara, for wonderfully setting the context for Kalinga Literary Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, this festival is not merely an event on the calendar. It is a living idea shaped by passion, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in the power of literature, dialogue, and culture. For its founder and its dedicated team, KLF is an emotion, one that continues to evolve, expand, and inspire. It is this passion and vision that has taken the festival from Odisha to the national stage and onwards to the international arena. May I now request the founder and director of Kalinga Literary Festival, Shri Rashmi Ranjan Parida, the driving force behind this journey, to kindly address the gathering. A big round of applause.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Honored guests, respected elders, dear writers, artists, thinkers, readers, friends and fellow travelers in this journey of ideas. I stand before you today with a heartful gratitude and humility. This year, Kalinga Literary Festival is being inaugurated with great grace and meaning. We are deeply honored by the presence of our chief guest, Sri Kanak Bardhan Singh Deoji, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, whose leadership reflects the confidence of new Odisha and rooted in its heritage and open to the future. We equally grateful to our guest of honor, Dr. Upali Panilage from Sri Lanka, Honorable Minister of Odia Language, Literature and Culture, Sri Surabanji Surajji, and Dr. Binod Chaudhary ji, Padma Vibhushan, Sri Sudarshan Sahuji, Dr. Pratibha Rai ji. The presence reminds us that literature is not separate from governance, diplomacy, culture, or public life. It is deeply connected to all of them. Before I speak of KLF, I must place on record my heartfelt gratitude to Sri Ashok Bal Sarji, our patron and CEO of the Kalinga Literary Festival. His support, vision, and quiet guidance has been pillar of strength for this platform. His belief in institution building and his commitment to expanding KLF beyond boundaries, geographical and intellectual, have shaped its growth and in scale and depth and global engagement. The journey of KLF in these 12 years has not been easy. It has been a journey of learning, of struggling and working together and of growing together. There are moments of deep uncertainty and moments of exhaustion, moments when it felt easier to stop than to continue. There were tears, setbacks, and long nights of doubts. But there is also a hope. There is friendship. There is faith in people, in ideas, in the power of coming together. We kept us going was the joy of creation, the joy of building a platform that could make even small contribution to the literary, cultural, and artistic life of our society. The joy of seeing conversation begin where there was a silence before. The joy of watching writers, readers, students, translators, artists, thinkers meet not as hierarchies but as equals. Today, as we gathered for 4 days of dialogue with voices from across India and more than 10 countries. I feel deeply humbled, not proud, but humbled because KLF has never been the work of one person. It is the result of collective effort, collective trust, and collective sacrifice. I warmly welcome everyone present here to this annual literary Kumbh. This year, we are privileged to host a remarkable panel of stalwarts, writers, historians, poets, translators, policymakers, artists, young voices from India across the world. They come not to deliver ready-made answers, but to open conversation. Our central theme reminds us that stories shape humanities and that translation across languages, discipline, and lived experience transform futures. And above all, I want to thank Odisha. This land has given us roots, courage, and a civilization confidence that allow us to look outward without losing ourselves. KLF has taught us one simple but powerful lesson. Culture is not built by grand declaration. It is built slowly, patiently, through trust, dialogue, and shared responsibility. It is built by people who stay even when it is difficult. If the Kalinga Literary Festival has achieved anything in these 12 years, it is all because of you. I accept this moment not as a celebration of success, but as a reminder of responsibility to listen more, to include more, and to keep working together. Thank you all. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you so much for that wonderful address. Ladies and gentlemen, we are... So, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, he has another pressing engagement and has to leave early. So we are going with the book releases and the awards now, and we'll continue listening to our experts as and when the evening proceeds. So we are now moving to the release of some exciting publications that highlight powerful stories of business, culture, and literary expression. I'll request Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and all our esteemed dignitaries on dais to kindly step forward to release the book. The first one is Made in Nepal, Lessons in Business Building from the Land of Everest by Dr. Binod Chaudhary. He's here with us on stage. Made in Nepal is a compelling and inspiring narrative that chronicles the journey of building global enterprises while proudly carrying the identity of a nation. The book reflects Dr. Chaudhary's deep sense of nationalism, of seeing the Nepalese flag fly high across factories and businesses around the world, at a time when Nepal was often little known on the global business map. From the iconic YY noodles, now consumed in countries as diverse as India, Serbia, Kazakhstan, Bangladesh, and Egypt, to ventures spanning cement, hospitality, telecom, banking, and pharmaceutical, this book traces forays into over 200 businesses globally, sharing both success and hard-earned lesson. Candid, engaging, and often humorous, Made in Nepal is a story of self-belief, risk-taking, and resilience, offering inspiration to entrepreneurs, students, and leaders alike. So can we have, I'll request all our dignitaries to please release the book. A big round of applause. Dr. Binod Chaudhary, the founder of CG Corp Global, Nepal's largest conglomerate, and is recognized by Forbes as Nepal's first billionaire. His journey from a family enterprise in Kathmandu to building a global corporate presence stands as a powerful example of ambition rooted in purpose. Well, there's such a lovely audience. Why can't I hear the applause? All right, thank you. We'll now move to our next release. Interesting, this is on Samanta Chandrasekhar Patrawadi. Tanko pai age gote jordar karatali hi jao. This book is by Shri Ashok Kumar Balop, patron and CEO of Kalinga Literary Festival, and Dr. Lakshman Maji. Can I invite him to please join us on stage? For the first time, this brings to limelight the untold story, the efforts behind Samanta Chandrasekhar Siddhanta Darpana that was published in 1899. The facts are based on 16 letters, mostly exchanged between Samanta Chandrasekhar and Sri Jogendra Chandra Rai, his friend and well-wisher, then a lecturer in science in Ravenshaw College. All of which have been brought to limelight for the very first time in the history of Odia literature and will offer a new insight into the personality and character of Samanta Chandrasekhar. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that marks the release now. Samanta Chandrasekhar, Patrabali Bai, Shri Ashok Kumar Bado, Patron and CEO of Kalinga Literary Festival, and Dr. Lakshman Maji. And yes, of course, these books are available for sale, as is the pattern in every Lit Fest. So you can purchase them and you can get it signed by the authors as well. And the last one is Obtuse Angle. It's a book of cartoons by Shri B.P. Acharya, former Chief Secretary, Telangana. I request him to please join on stage for the release. Obtuse Angle. A bureaucrat's journey through cartoons. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we would like to also extend a very, very warm welcome to Shri Harivansh Narayan Singh Ji, Honorable Deputy Chairman Rajya Sabha. वो हमारे बीच आ चुके हैं, उनका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं, अभिनंदन है. I request him to join us on stage. Sir. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत और अभिनंदन. हाँ, we would like to of course welcome him. I'll request Ashok ji and Rashmi ji to do the honors and welcome him. And then of course we'll move to a very special segment of the inaugural ceremony, the Kalinga Literary Festival Awards. तहे दिल से हरिवंश जी का स्वागत करते हैं. हाँ जी, so we'll now move to a very special segment of the inaugural ceremony, the Kalinga Literary Festival Awards. These awards recognize the individual whose contribution to literature, translation, cultural thought, and creative expression has enriched public discourse and strengthened the literary ecosystem, both nationally and internationally. May I request the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Orissa, Shri Kanak Vandan Singh Ji, to give away the awards, accompanied by our other distinguished guests on dais. We start with the prestigious International Living Legend Award 2026. This year, ladies and gentlemen, the International Living Legend Award is being conferred upon Dr. Binod Chaudhary in recognition of his outstanding contribution to strengthening India-Nepal relation and advancing the shared cultural and intellectual heritage of South Asia. Through visionary leadership in business, enduring commitment to philanthropy, and sustained engagement with literature and ideas, he has exemplified how enterprise can serve civilization and dialogue can inspire generations. Congratulations, Dr. Chaudhary. A big round of applause. We just had the book release, and now we are very privileged to present the prestigious International Living Legend Award 2026 to him. Be careful. All right, now we'll move to the Kalinga Literary Award. We'll start with Pratham Kalinga Literary Award. It is being conferred upon Shri Achyutanandapati in recognition of his outstanding contribution to Odia literature and the art of storytelling. Unfortunately, because of his age and his ailing health, he is not here with us, but he represents a trust. The founder is here with us. I'll request him to please join on behalf of Shri Achyutanandapati to receive the award. A compassionate and humanist storyteller, he illuminates in his fiction the lives of the marginalized and the unheard, infusing everyday experiences with dignity, empathy, and moral depth. Through a distinctive poetic language rooted in rural idiom and lived reality, he has enriched Odia literary tradition and inspired generations of writers and readers alike. Mu babuji tanka pe gote jordar korotali haba dorkar. He's already 100 years of age. I just got to know that. So a big round of applause for continuing to inspire for 100 years of his life. We extend our best wishes to him. We'd like to inform that we are also giving a cash award of rupees 50,000 with these awards. The next one is the Kalinga International Literary Award. And ladies and gentlemen, this is being presented to Miss Daisy Rockwell. A big round of applause in recognition of her exceptional contribution to world literature through translation and cross-cultural interpretation. An artist, writer, and Hindi Urdu translator living in Vermont, she has translated numerous classic and contemporary literary works from Hindi and Urdu into English. Her translations have been awarded the International Booker Prize, the Warwick Prize for Women in Translation, the MLA Aldo and Sean Scallion Prize for translation of a literary work, and the Wisconsin Prize for Poetry in Translation. Her translations have also been honored with funding from the National Endowment for the Arts, the National Endowment for Humanities, and Penn Translates. Congratulations, Ms. Daisy Rockwell. Privileged to have you here with us today. All the 3 literary awards being given away also carry a cash award of rupees 50,000. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, now moving on, the Kalinga Literary Award for Youth Writer. This celebrates emerging voices, and this year, the award is being conferred upon Ms. Ranjana Nadola in recognition of her inspiring role in nurturing young literary voices in Nepal and South Asia. A multifaceted literary personality from Nepal, she is widely admired as a poet, writing in Nepali and English, as well as an editor, researcher, academic, literary critic, curator, and speaker. She is known for seamlessly balancing multiple roles with creative confidence and intellectual depth. Her writings have earned wide acclaim across Nepal and the Indian subcontinent. In addition to poetry, she's also made a mark through her essays. Also the founder and editor of the Nepali news portal HimalayDiary.com, and also serves as the coordinator and director of KLF Kathmandu, playing a key role in strengthening cross-border literary engagement. Congratulations, Ranjana ji. Congratulations. And now we move to the Odisha Living Legend Awards. Well, we have 2 recipients. To begin with, the award is being presented to Pandit Harmohan Khuntia for his outstanding contribution to the field of music as a tabla maestro. His musical journey spans several decades of performance, teaching, and composition. A big round of applause. Having received rigorous training under eminent gurus of both Hindustani and Odissi classical tradition, he went on to become an A-grade staff artist of All India Radio Cuttack. Over the years, has composed and accompanied numerous Odissi dance and dance drama productions, playing a crucial role in shaping the rhythmic grammar of the form. Tanko pai gote jordar karatali he jao Pandit Harmohan Khuntia ko pai. मु आउ थरे अनुरोध करबी पंडित हरमोहन खुंटिया जदि आम गहन अच्छी अनुरोध करबी मंच को आसवाई हमें सम्मानित करने चाहूचे आज्ञा आम विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट द सेकेंड वन मु वर्तमान अनुरोध करबी श्रीजुक्त गोवर्धन दोरा को जोरदार करताली हो जाऊ इन रेकग्निशन ऑफ हिज स्टाइलिश परस्यूट ऑफ नॉलेज ऑल्दो अ टेक्नोक्रेट बाय प्रोफेशन ही हैज इल्यूमिनेटेड neglected facets of Odisha's history and heritage through patient and meticulous documentation. Several volumes rich in encyclopedic erudition authored by him have deepened and broadened our understanding of Odishan history and culture. These are invaluable treasure troves of information. आम गर्वर विषय आम सम्मानित करूँ आशा करूछु आपण माने जोरदार करताली सह तांको आमे सम्मान दबा ओडिशा लिविंग लेजेंड अवार्ड। All right, a big round of applause. Jordar Karotali he jao. Already mentioned by Mr. Bolo, as you know, Kalinga Literary Festival in collaboration with Penguin, Random House India has come up with KLF Penguin Book Review Competition, a first of its kind national read and review initiative aimed at placing readers at the heart of India's literary ecosystem. So we have the winners of the KLF Penguin National Book Review Competition. Of course, all of them are not here with us, but we'd like to name them. Ryan Lahiri from Kolkata, Sindhu from Bangalore, and we have Mahitosh Gopal from Odisha, who's here with us. So a big round of applause. Conceptualized as a pan-India readers movement, the KLF Book Project invited readers from across the country to critically engage with select contemporary books, reflect on them, and articulate their responses through thoughtful reviews. These winners were selected from a nationwide pool of entries, reflecting diversity of perspective, depth of engagement, and clarity of critical thought. This initiative marks a significant shift in literary culture, moving beyond the celebration of authors alone to recognizing the intellectual labor and imagination of readers. And it's now time also... All right, it's now time to announce the winners of KLF Samvad Book Review Project, the state-level counterpart of the KLF Penguin Book Review Project. And the best review goes to Smruti Ranjan from Jajpur. Smruti Ranjan from Jajpur, is he here with us? Yes. This also anchors the same philosophy, but within Odisha, nurturing reading cultures in regional languages and local contexts. I'll also request Shri Santosh Kumar and Shri Biswanath Sahu semane jodi ochanti semane mancha paku palai asantu. Smruti Ranjan. He is the best review from Jajpur. Yes, yes. A big round of applause to him. We would like to extend a warm round of welcome to him, industrialist and philanthropist, founder KCCL, Dr. Soumya Ranjan Samal. The second best reviews were Santosh Kumar from Dhenkanal and Biswanath Sahu from Barpali. Barpali. Biswanath Sahu. Ladies and gentlemen, मुझे भी कहित लेटा गोटे नियारा प्रयास आपे टिके मु भाबुची आपण माने जोरदार करताली दियंतु स्मृति रंजन संतोष कुमार विश्वनाथ साहू मु स्मृति रंजन को आउथरे अनुरोध करिवे आपण मंच को पळे आसंतु गोटे फोटोग्राफ पई हमरा सबु विनर्स को सहित बेस्ट रिव्यूज आज्ञा Congratulations to all the winners. Amara sabu awardees pai mu chahuchi apan mane author gote jordar karatali diyantu. A big round of applause for all our awardees. We are very, very privileged and honored to have presented these awards to them at the 12th edition of the Kalinga Literary Festival. Thank you to all our... Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply privileged to have with us as the chief guest of the 12th edition of Kalinga Literary Festival, the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Kanakvardhan Singh Deo, a leader whose public life is deeply intertwined within Odisha's political, cultural and developmental journey. Shri K.V. Singh Deo represents a rare confluence of heritage and contemporary governance. Coming from a distinguished lineage that has long been associated with public service in Western Odisha, he carries forward a legacy rooted in responsibility, reform and respect for tradition. An experienced legislator and administrator has handled industrial responsibility over the years and has played a significant role in Odisha's growth, urban development and infrastructure. His approach to governance reflects balance in history and progress between economic development and social inclusion. Beyond administration, he is also known for his deep appreciation of art, literature, and cultural expression, and for encouraging platforms that nurture creativity, dialogue, and intellectual engagement. His presence at Kalinga Literary Festival today reflects a belief that culture and literature are not just accessories to development, but its very foundation. May I now request him to kindly address this gathering. Let's please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Jai Jagannath. Dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Upali Panalage, Honorable Minister at Rural Development Government of Sri Lanka, Shri Harvans Rai, Honorable Deputy Speaker Rajya Sabha, my colleague in the government, Shri Suryavanshi Suraj, Honorable Minister for Culture and Sports, Guest of Honor, Dr. Vinod Chaudhary, Member of Parliament from Nepal, Shri Sudarshan Sahu, Padma Vibhushan awardee, Dr. Pratibha Rai, Gyanpeeth and Padma Bhushan awardee, Srimati Tanaya Patnaik, Executive Director, Samvad Group, Dr. Soumya Ranjan Samal, Managing Director, Kalinga Commercial Corporation Limited, Shri Ashok Kumar Bal, Shri Rashmi Ranjan Parida, dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen, all the dignitaries who have come from the various countries and who are going to be a part of this Kalinga Literary Festival for the next 4 days. On behalf of the state government, I would first like to take this opportunity of welcoming you all to the land of Lord Jagannath. It is a privilege to inaugurate the Kalinga Literary Festival 2026, a platform that has over 12 years established itself as one of India's most credible space for literary and cultural dialogue. I congratulate the entire KLF family for their sustained commitment to creating a forum where ideas can be exchanged with honesty, depth, and respect. Literature does not divide, it connects. It reminds us that beneath our differences lies common questions about justice, dignity, and purpose. Odisha's civilization experience reflects this truth. From the transformation of Kalinga after the ancient war to our enduring transition in poetry, philosophy, this land has consistently chosen reflection over force and dialogue over dominance. I am encouraged that KLF has invited writers from across Odisha, 30 districts from different states and abroad as well, as Orissa moves towards Orissa's 2036 and Viksit Bharat 2047, we must remember that true development requires not infrastructure, but human creativity, cultural confidence, and ethical imagination. In today's world of speed and polarization, literature resists oversimplification and restores nuances. It allows us to listen when listening has become difficult. I acknowledge our distinguished guests of honor from Sri Lanka, Australia, Nepal, and across India, and congratulate all the awardees and all who have turned up for this festival. May Kalinga Literary Festival continue to inspire the minds, connect cultures, and strengthen Orissa's place in the world of ideas. Before I take my seat, I just wanted to make an appeal to all of you present here today. Time and again, the compere has been requesting you to put your hands together and give the guests on the dais an ovation that they would remember and carry back when they go back home. Let us not be conjuses and give a good thunderous applause to everyone on the dais. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, so much for your inspiring address. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I was just mentioning, he has another pressing engagement, and the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister would have to unfortunately leave. But we would like to once again thank him for his presence, and would also like to present a token of appreciation, a memento to him before he leaves. So I'll request KLF Patron Shri Ashok Kumar Bora and Shri Rashmi Ranjan Parida to do the honors and present a memento to him. We are very grateful for his presence. Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of the inaugural ceremony of the 12th edition of Kalinga Literary Festival as a chief guest, giving away the awards, releasing the books. Thank you so much for your presence, sir. I'll of course request everyone to please stay seated as we'll continue with...
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll continue with the ceremony. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today editor of Sambad and Kanak News, Ms. Tanaya Patnaik, one of Orissa's most influential media conglomerates, where she has consistently strengthened the voice and relevance of Odia language across print, broadcast, and digital platforms. Her commitment to Odia culture, however, extends far beyond newsrooms. Through creative platforms like Chocolate Productions, whose historical play, Ahe Niro Soila, has been staged in major cities including Bhubaneswar, New Delhi, and Bengaluru, she has brought Odia heritage to wider audiences. And most recently, through Odra, her Odia cuisine venture, she's also taken the flavor, stories, and traditions of Odisha from the kitchen to the cultural conversation, making food also a medium of heritage. So Ms. Tanaya Patnaik continues to champion Odia Asmita in ways that are contemporary, confident, and deeply rooted. May I now request her to address this gathering. Let's welcome her with a big round of applause. And I'll also request everyone to please stay quiet and settle as we request our speaker to speak.
Jai Jagannath, Subha Sandhya, honorable guests and dais, honorable minister, the entire team of Odisha Diary, KLF, ଏବଂ ସାହିତ୍ୟକୁ ଭଲ ପାଉଥିବା ଓଡ଼ିଶାକୁ ଭଲ ପାଉଥିବା ଏହି ପ୍ରେକ୍ଷାଳୟରେ ବସିଥିବା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ମୋର ନମସ୍କାର। ଅତ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଆନନ୍ଦର ବିଷୟ ଯେ ଆଜି KLF 12 ବର୍ଷରେ ପାଦ ଦେଇଛି। ମୁଁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଭାବେ ଯେ ବର୍ଷେ 2 ବର୍ଷ 3 ବର୍ଷ କିଛି ବି କାମ କରିବା ବହୁତ ସହଜ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଦୀର୍ଘ ସମୟ ଧରି किछि अभियान कोनोसी प्रयास को बजाय रखिबा बहुत कष्ट सेथिपई हाड़भंगा परिश्रम अनिद्रा राति एते परिश्रम करी जो माने ए कार्यक्रम को आज आपण सामना को आनी मु समस्त को अभिनंदन जनाऊँगी एवं आगामी 3 दिन ए लिटरेरी फेस्टिवल बा साहित्य उत्सव र सफलता पाई मु महाप्रभु जगन्नाथଙ୍କ निकटरे प्रार्थना करुच्ची एवं समस्त को मोर अनेक अनेक शुभकामना जेतेबेले प्रोफेसर जतीन्द्र नायक रश्मि परिड़ा अशोक बाबू मो कार्यालय को आसी किछि दिन पूर्व पेंगुइन केएलएफ बुक रिव्यू कंटेस्ट संपर्क में से मते जणैथिले एवं एमती आलोचना मध्यरे कहिथिले जे संवाद मध्य गोटे पुस्तक समीक्षा र प्रतियोगिता आयोजन करि परिबो हो एथरक तो हेई परिबनी किंतु आर वर्षरु आमे निश्चित भाव में आरंभ करिबा किंतु सेतेबेले मु भाबुची अशोक बाबू को रश्मि कहले नाई एई वर्ष करि परिबो जदी करि परिबो ताले संवाद ही करि परिबो संवाद प्रति एते भरोसा रखिथिबारु मु कृतज्ञता जनाऊँगी 2-3 दिन भितर आमे सब प्रस्तुति सारी लाइव करिथिलु कार्यक्रम को एवं आपण माने देखिले आमे पुरस्कृत कलु केवल भुवनेश्वर बा कटक नुह सारा ओडिसार कोण अनुकोणरू अनेक साहित्य प्रेमी तांकर पुस्तक समीक्षा आम पाखु पठेइथिले एवं आमको बहुत खुशी लागिला जेतेबेले आपण माने देखिले जाजपुर ढेंकानाल बरपाली विजेता माने चयन हेचंती मु सेइथिपई केएलएफ को ए मंच प्रस्तुत करथिबारु एवं प्रोफेसर जतीन्द्र नायक एवं डॉक्टर बाबाजी चरण पट्टनायक जो माने बहुत समय दे जज करथिले से मानकु कृतज्ञता जनाऊँगी शेषरे केवल एतिकी कहबी जे आमे सबु बेले नुआ ओडिसा कथा कथा हेउचे नुआ आइडियाज नुआ पीढ़ी सबु बेले नुआ कथा हेउचे एवं नुआ और पुराना भितरे एक अद्भुत किंतु एक सुंदर संपर्क रही किंतु जदि आमे पुराना को छाड़िबा नहीं ताले आमे नुआ आड़ को केबे भी आगे पारिबा नहीं ठीक से भली अतीत और भविष्यतर मध्य संपर्क रही आमे आमर युवपीढ़ी जहाँ को आमे कहूचु से माने आमर काली आमर नुआ ओडिसार नेतृत्व नेबे तांको पे अत्यंत जरूरी जे से पुराना ओडिशा कथा जानिबे आमर अतीत कथा जानिबे कलिंगर जो गौरवमय जो कीर्तिमय इतिहास रही ताकू भूली गले आमे केबे भी नुआ ओडिशा गढ़ी पारिबा नहीं प्रतिभा राय सुदर्शन साहू दे आर लिविंग लेजेंड्स दे आर प्रेजेंट अमंगस्ट अस जड़े ओडिया भावे मु प्रतिभा राय पाई मोर यथेष्ट सम्मान रही किंतु मु तांकु अधिक भल पाइली जेतेबेले मु जाज्ञसेनी पढ़िली सुदर्शन साहू को मु ओडिया भाव में सम्मान करे किंतु तांको मु अधिक भल पाइली जेतेबेले सुदर्शन आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट विलेज जाइकी तांको हाथ केते चमत्कार कथा गढ़ी पड़ुची से कथा मु जेतेबेले निज आखिरे देखली मो हाथ रे छुईली ओडिशा को आम युवपीढ़ी केमिति अधिकरु अधिक जानिबे आविष्कार करिबे ओडिशा को चिन्ही केमिति भल पाइबे ता हमर सबुठारु बड़ दायित्व कारण कुआ जाए वी फियर to lose what we love the most केवल नुआ पीढ़ी बा कालीर भविष्यत से माने आमर भाषा संस्कृति कला संगीत भास्कर्य ए सबुर संरक्षण करिवे यह केवल कहिले हेब नाही से माने सेतबेले ए संरक्षण रे ए सुरक्षा रे सक्रिय योगदान करिवे सक्रिय भूमिका तांकर रहिबो जेतेबेले से माने प्रकृत रे ओडिसा को भल पाइबे एवं ओडिसा को से माने सेतेबेले ही भल पाइबे जेतेबेले ओडिसा भितरे अधिकरु अधिक जानिबे अधिकरु अधिक आलोचना हबो ओडिसा से माने बुलिबे देखिबे निजे जानिबे कि हमर केते सुंदर इतिहास रही आमर केते गौरवमय अतीत रही एई भलिया लिटरेरी फेस्टिवल्स एक माध्यम जे आमे युवपीढ़ी को आम कला संस्कृति साहित्य सहित गढ़ी जोड़ी पारिबा मु पूरा टीम को सेतिपई पुणी थरे कृतज्ञता जनाऊँगी एवं ए लिट फेस्ट वर्ष वर्ष धरी एमती चली थाउ लोकों सहित जोड़ी थाउ एतिकी कामना करी मु मोर वक्तव्य शेष करुछि वंदे उत्कल जननी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us today the legendary Shri Sudarshan Sahu. The artistic genius of Padma Vibhushan Shri Sudarshan Sahu is such that his hands can infuse life to the most intimate of the objects, the stones. The master sculptor's extraordinary body of craftsmanship. Jordar Karatali daba tanko pai tankar abhibasar bartaman suniba.
जय जगन्नाथ। समस्त सुधीवृंद को मोर प्रणाम। तले बसी भी समस्त मुहरे हस उठुची एवं से भगवान निकट प्रार्थना KLF केमती आग को जाऊ। मंचरे उपस्थित थिबा समस्त सुधीवृंद जे कि यही KLF को समृद्ध करने आज उठे उपस्थित अछंती। महामान्य राजा श्री सिंहदेव महोदय तो चली गले, से किछि कहीकि गले, तार प्रेरणा मध्य आमको समृद्ध करिबो एवं KLF को बहुत साहाय्य सहयोग सब बेले करि आछंती। 12 वर्ष रे पहुंची एई KLF एबे भी बालक अवस्था रे अछि। युवक होबाको आउरी 8-10 वर्ष लागिवो। आपण मान को सहयोग मध्य नितांत आवश्यक। श्री सूर्यवंशी सूरज महोदय जने युवक मंत्री एवं जने सुदक्ष प्रशासक हिसाब रे स्पोर्ट्स को किभली भाव में आगौचंती, लिटरेचर को केमती करूचंती, आमर जो अस्मिता जो आमर कल्चर ताकू किभली भाव में देखुचंती आपण मान समस्त जानती। एई भुवनेश्वर को जदि परिचित करइचंती सारा भारत वर्ष रे कलिंग स्टेडियम तार जो विभव हॉकी टारू फुटबॉल पर्यंत एवं विभिन्न प्रकार जो खेलकूद से बहुत बड़ हाथ अच्छी। आग को से यही लिटरेरी फेस्टिवल जे कि आज समृद्ध ओडिशा को आग को नवा को जाउची, ताकू समस्त सहयोग तांकर अच्छी एवं से पूरण करचंती। आमर तांकू निवेदन जहाँ किछि आउ बाकी रही ताकू किभली भाव में समृद्ध करिवे, ओडिशार अस्मिता को सारा भारत वर्ष नुई सारा पृथ्वी रे प्रचार प्रसार करिवे। श्री रूपाली पांडे मिनिस्टर श्रीलंका गोटे समृद्ध स्थान। भारत रु भगवान बुद्धंकर अस्थि जाइतिला, मुझे किछि दिन रहीकिरी सेठी गोटे स्तूपा मध्य निर्माण होइछि, तार मूर्ति मध्य मु करिथिली। मुझे बहुत दिन थिली। श्रीलंकार कांडी अनुराधापुरम एवं विभिन्न बौद्धस्थली बुलिकी देखी। श्रीलंका गोटे ऐतिहासिक स्थान जहाँकि भारत संगे तार संपर्क अंगांगी भाव में जड़ित। सेमाने मध्य आमर भारत को बहुत भल पाती एवं भारतर कला भास्कर्य प्रत्येक जिनस को से ताकू निज देश रे आपणाइबाई चेष्टा करती और आम सांगे सहयोग बांटती। KLF जो आग को जो सभा हेबो ता मध्य श्रीलंका रे होबाकू जिबा अछि होबाकू। श्री विनोद चौधरी महोदय नेपाल रो जड़े बहुत सम्भ्रांत परिवार रो एवं KLF को नेपाल रे जतबेले करागला सेतबेले तांकर सहयोग तांकर सहधर्मिणीकर सहयोग समस्त थिला। आमे जानि पारिलुनु नेपाल रे केमती करिबु, से समस्त प्रकार सहयोग करिथिले। तेणु नेपाल रे से गोटे KLF रो जो सभा समिति हला, बहुत लोग आसिले, बहुत किछि जानिले भारत बाबद रे। मु तांको ऊपर मध्य बहुत खुशी एवं तांको प्रणाम जनाउची। पुणी जेबे केबे KLF नेपाल रे हबा को थिला, कौन से असुविधा व्यथत हो पारला नहीं। गत वर्ष पुणी आग को मध्य हम। तेणु तांकर एवं परिवार समस्त सहयोग मु कामना करुछि। श्री विनोद चौधरी जे कि जने सम्भ्रांत लोक, जने पंडित एवं KLF ए जो आज होउची ओडिशार लिटरेरी फेस्टिवल को तांकर सहयोग संपूर्ण भाव रही। से सबु बेले आमको दिग्दर्शन दे आछंती। श्री तनया पट्टनायक संवाद आमे जतबे तांग घरु गलु से कहले आम बापा संगे टिके बसी कथा हुंतु। मु बड़ बाबू एवं रश्मि परिड़ा एवं जतिन बाबू आमे तांग घर को जाइथिलु। बहुत आमको बंधु हिसाब से आप्यायित कले एवं समस्त सहयोग करबा पई तनया को मध्य से उपदेश देइथिले। आज तनया आमको समस्त प्रकार सुबंदोबस्त करी जो माने अछंती खूब गुणी लोक तांकू विवेचना करी से आमको देवे आमे तांकू संवर्धित करिबू। श्री अशोक बल जहाँकि आमर फुसफुस केएलएफ रो तांको बिना ये हेई पारि न थांदा। दिन राति सबु बेले रश्मि परिड़ा एवं से दुई जन आमर जो वॉलंटियर माने अछंती तांकू धरी कार्य के बड़ी हबो खूब कम समय अछि ताकू भल भाव से करिसंती। तेणु तांको बिना मध्य केएलएफ आगु जिबा बहुत असंभव जिनिस। रश्मि रंजन परिड़ा आर्थिक सहायता कौटु आसीबो किभली भाव में केएलएफ हम केएलएफ केमती सभा समिति हम ओडिशा को लोक जानिबे आमर जो परंपरा अच्छी केमती बुझिबे से बाबद से तांकर अहरह चेष्टा चली एवं आगु मध्य चली रहिबो। श्री सौम्य रंजन सामल जड़े उद्योगपति होते मन आकाश रे रही केएलएफ जदि केतबेले किसी असुविधा है 20 लाख देइचंती आउ अभाव है देई हबनी मे फेयर होटल को देई हबनी लुगा वाला को देई हबनी चदर वाला को देई हबनी खाइबा वाला को से कहबे ये जते बाकी अच्छी मु सब करदेवी। जय जगन्नाथ तांको सहधर्मिणी मध्य तांके संगे सहयोग करनी हाँ दे दियो। तेणु श्री सौम्यरंजन सामल को मुझे धन्यवाद जनाऊँगी। किसी कहवा को आज देवी ए वर्ष तो बेस किसी पैसा आसी पारा नहीं तेणु बहुत अभाव असुविधा अच्छी पुणी श्रीलंकार केमती करवा बाली रे केमती करवा से बाबद अनुरोध करी साहाय्य करिसेंती आगु को करिवे। श्री रूपाली पानीला जे मिनिस्टर श्रीलंकार अछंती से मध्य आज एटी उपस्थित अछंती श्रीलंकार समस्त सहयोग करिबा पई एवं आमर बंधुत्व को आगु को निबिड़ करिबा पई ओडिशा और श्रीलंका भितरे आमर जो अच्छी माने आमर जो संपर्क रही आगुरु से संपर्क को दृढ़ीभूत करने तांकर जो प्रकार अच्छी सेठी पूजा पार्वण बा खाइबा पीबा रहिबा विभिन्न प्रकार उत्सव अच्छी ताकू से अनुध्यान करने आमको निमंत्रण करिसेंती। से ओडिशा को भल पाती तेणु से मध्य आज उपस्थित अछंती। श्री हरिवंश जी आपण को मध्य मु निवेदन करी आपण मध्य केएलएफ जरिया आज ये उपस्थित अछंती। समस्त के सामने रे आपण किछि कहबा पई आमे आपण को प्रार्थना करिवु। आपण को सहयोग रे ए जो सभाटी होची ता साफल्य मंडित हेबो। आगो को श्री जगन्नाथ एई सभाटी को एई जो कार्यक्रम चली आपण मान को सहायता सहयोग रे एवं आपण कर भल पाइबारे ताकू आगु को नबारे कौनसी असुविधा हेबो नाही। आमर कोणार्क तैयारी हेइतला केबे किंतु एबे कोणार्क करबा असंभव कारण से समय जो प्रकार राजांगर आदेश थिला आज राजा नाहंती आज मंत्री महोदय माने अछंती जदि चाहिए सूर्यवंश सूरज आमर मुख्यमंत्री की कही यही कोणार्क द्वितीय कोणार्क करबा पई चेष्टा करिवे सेतिबाई मु तांगु मध्य प्रार्थना करूची। जय जगन्नाथ आपण मानकर समस्त घर मंगल हेउ। आपण माने सभारे आसीथिबारु आमे बहुत खुशी तेणु मुझे आपण मान को विनम्र निवेदन करी जे यही सभाटी को आगु को चालू रखु। वंदे उत्कल जननी।
श्रीजुक्त साहुंकर अभिभाषण पे अशेष धन्यवाद। Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, we have amidst us Honorable Minister Odia Language, Literature and Culture, Sports and Youth Services, Shri Suryavanshi Suraj. Unfortunately, he also has a pressing engagement, so we'll be liking to hear from him before he leaves. As you all know, he has been at the forefront of strengthening Odisha's linguistic and literary identity. Under his leadership, focused efforts are being made to promote Odia language, nurture writers and artists, and institutionalize cultural platforms that celebrate Odisha's rich intellectual and artistic heritage. As a sports minister, he has also been focusing on grassroots sports development while also taking initiatives for sports infrastructure development in the state. Given his efforts and his encouragement to the athletes of Odisha, he has emerged as a role model for the youth. बंधुगण साहित्यर ही अनन्य समारोह रे राज्यर ओडिया भाषा साहित्य संस्कृति विभाग माननीय मंत्री महोदय श्रीयुक्त सूर्यवंशी सूरज को आम गहन रे पाई आमे कृतज्ञ। ओडिया अस्मितार प्राण केन्द्र हेउछि आम ओडिया भाषा। एही महान प्राचीन शास्त्रीय भाषार संरक्षण एहार उन्नति तथा प्रचार प्रसार पाई ओडिशा सरकार द्वारा निया जाउथबा बहुविध कार्यक्रम को श्रीयुक्त सूर्यवंशी निजर दृढ़ नेतृत्व और प्रतिबद्धता देई आसिचंती। मु तांको अनुरोध करिवि तांकर वक्तव्य रखिबा पे जोरदार करताली सह तांकर स्वागत करी।
जय जगन्नाथ। Dr. Upali Panilage, Honorable Minister of Rural Development, Government of Sri Lanka. Sri Harivanshji, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Rajya Sabha. Dr. Binod Chaudharyji, writer from Nepal, industrialist. Sri Sudarshan Sahuji, Padma Vibhushan awardee. Dr. Pratibha Rai ji, Jnanapith and Padma Bhushan awardee. Srimati Tanaya Patnaik, Executive Director, Sambad Group. Dr. Soumyaranjan Samal ji, industrialist and philanthropist. Sri Ashok Kumar Bal, CEO, KLF. Sri Rasmiranjan Parida, Founder and Director. The eminent guests of the dais, friends from media. It is a profound privilege to address the 12th Kalinga Literary Festival, this Mahakumbha of emotion and ideas. We stand on the sacred soil of Kalinga, a land where sword bowed to the consciousness. A developed society is built not just on the concrete, but on the consciousness. Literature is the custodian of that soul. In an era which is dominated by AI, literature remains our most ancient technology for transformation and the true measure of our human intelligence. Think of Kuntala Kumari Sabat. She did not wield a gun, she wielded a pen, igniting the fire of patriotism and proving that the written word prepares the citizens for the responsibilities of freedom. Odisha possesses one of the world's great literary traditions. From Sarala Das to Jagannath Das, to honor this legacy, our government is committed for digitizing lakhs of rare palm leaves, manuscripts to save our ancestral wisdom and ensuring the world recognizes masterpieces like Fakir Mohan Senapati's Chhaumana Athoguntha. The government is committed to launch new fellowships for young writers and linguistic researchers. The theme of this festival is decolonizing literature. It reminds us to embrace our root. The future of literature will be hybrid and democratized, involving digital podcasters. Our institutions are in the process of adapting to support these new literary workers. Writers and thinkers across the world, here I must tell, this government builds the infrastructure, but you build the soul of the society. By 2036, our vision for Odisha is to be the intellectual capital of India. समस्ते जो माने एठी उपस्थित अछंती मैं अनुरोध करी ए तमाम 12 वर्षर कलिंग लिटरेरी फेस्टिवल जो भली भाव में तांकर प्रयास तांकर प्रचेष्टा एवं तांकर पराकाष्ठा प्रदर्शन करी आछंती समस्ते सेमानंकु गोटे करताली माध्यम रे उत्साहित करिवा एवं कलिंगर कथा केतोटी मिनिट भितर कहिबा पाखापाखि असंभव आम एमिति गोटे पुण्य माटी रे आज दंडायमान अछंती जो माटी रे पुरुषोत्तम देव को समय प्रतापरुद्र देव को समय कपिलेन्द्र देव को समय शिक्षा बा लिटरेसी रेट जहाँ को आज दिन में कहते ताहा 100% थिला ओडिशार घरे घरे भागवत पढ़ा जाउथला एवं भागवत को आमूलचूल पढ़ुथुबा गोटे समाज आज जितेबाला शिक्षा क्षेत्र में साहित्य क्षेत्र में आम क्यों स्थान रे अछंती अतीत रे क्यों स्थान रे थिले वर्तमान निजको अनुशीलन करने दरकार तेबे जाइकी विकसित ओडिशार जो नील नक्शा अच्छी ताहा निश्चित भाव में समापित एवं संपादित हेबो बोली मु आशा प्रकट करुछि एवं कलिंग साहित्य महोत्सव एथिरे गोटे बड़ योगदान एवं अवदान देउ आज दिन में प्रभु जगन्नाथ निकट रे एतिकी प्रार्थना एतिकी कामना वंदे उत्कल जननी भारत माता की जय।
मान्यवर मंत्री महोदय को प्रेरणादायी अभिभाषण पे हमें अशेष धन्यवाद जनाऊँ कृतज्ञ जनाऊँ वी वुड also like to take this opportunity to felicitate him before he leaves. Like we have just mentioned, he has an important engagement, but we would like to present a token of appreciation to him. So I'll request Shri Ashok Bada and Rashmi Ranjan Parida to do the honors and present a memento and a token of appreciation to him. We are very, very grateful for his presence today here with us. We are once again very grateful to Honorable Minister Shri Suryavanshi Suraj. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time from your hectic schedule to be a part of the inaugural ceremony of the 12th edition of Kalinga Literary Festival. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we have with us today on stage Dr. Soumya Ranjan Samal, Managing Director of Kalinga Commercial Corporation Limited, whose journey from humble beginnings to building a respected enterprise is a powerful story of perseverance and vision. With decades of experience across mining and infrastructure, he represents entrepreneurship rooted in hard work and ethical practice. He is a dedicated leader committed to transforming Odisha by creating more and more employment opportunities, bringing women to the forefront, improving healthcare, and contributing to social welfare. An ardent devotee of Lord Jagannath, he is also the recipient of the Odisha Living Legend Awards 2025. May I now request him to address this gathering. Let's give him a big round of applause and welcome him.
जय जगन्नाथ our present and the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Kanakbandhan Singhdeo and distinguished guests from across the borders of Sri Lanka and Australia and Nepal, esteemed Padma Bhushan and of Odisha. It is a profound honor for me to stand here today, not as a man of industry, but as a student of the culture that defines us. While my daily life is spent in the world of mining and infrastructure, I have always believed that if the industry is the muscle of the nations, then literacy is its soul. I want to congratulate Sri Ashok Bolsar and Rashmi Ranjan Parida and the entire KLF team for reaching this 12th milestone of KLFE. The Kalinga Literacy Festival has become a global beacon and providing that the Odisha is as rich of thoughts and words as it is the minerals and heritage. To see such diversity gathering from the diplomats and of industrialists, Dr. Binod Chaudhary, and the legacy creators like Padma Bhushan Sri Padma Dr. Pratibha is testament to the power of storage. I wish all the writers, poets and thinkers a magnificent 3 days diligence and discovery. May the ink never dry and the conversation never cease. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Samal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, joining us from Nepal today is a true inspiration and role model for entrepreneurs across South Asia, Mr. Binod Chaudhary, a visionary entrepreneur, author, philanthropist, and one of the region's most influential business leaders. We've already witnessed his book release today, and we have been very privileged to present the International Living Legend Award to him as well. Dr. Chaudhary is the chairman and president of the Chaudhary Group, CG Corp Global, a diversified multinational conglomerate with interests spanning consumer goods, hospitality, banking, real estate, and more across over 15 business verticals and multiple countries. He's widely recognized as Nepal's first and only billionaire and the first Nepali to be featured on the Forbes billionaire list, symbolizing global ambition rooted in South Asian values. His journey from a family enterprise in Kathmandu to building a global corporate empire is not merely a story of business success, but one of resilience, long-term vision, and responsible leadership. Equally significant is his work in philanthropy and thought leadership, reflecting a commitment to social impact alongside enterprise. He's also an author whose autobiography traces this remarkable evolution, and his presence here today underscores the strong cultural, intellectual, and entrepreneurial exchange between India and Nepal. May I now request him to address this gathering. And can I also request people at the back to please settle down and not make a lot of noises when our speakers are talking. Thank you so much.
Chief guest, honorable chief guest of this very important event, who just left, Deputy Chief Minister Shri Kanakvardhan Singh Devji, Honorable Minister of Rural Development, Honorable Member of Parliament and Deputy Speaker, Honorable Minister of Culture and Sports, Government of Odisha, Honorable Member of Parliament, Odisha, Padma Vibhushan awardee, Dr. Sudarshan Sahu, Dr. Pratibha Ray, Padma Bhushan awardee, Srimati Tanya Patnaik, Executive Director, Shambad Group, Dr. Soumya Ranjan Samal, Industrialist, Philanthropist, KLF Patron and CEO, Sri Ashok Kumar Balji, KLF Founder and Director, Sri Rashmi Ranjan Paridaji, my brother and former Chief of Army Staff, Sri Gaurav Samshed Ranaji, Madam Dolly Ranaji, my colleague Kanishka Gupta, who's been part of this literary journey, members of the fraternity of literature, art, culture, members of the media, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the founder, Mr. Parida, who had the resilience of building Kalinga to what it is today. A journey of 12 years, I'm told. He not only have created this powerful confluence of the community of writers, publishers, authors, and those who love the storytelling and the powerful messages behind, but also took it transnational. I'm aware of your work in Nepal, and I wish you every success in time to come. May it grow bigger. I would also like to congratulate you for starting another chapter in your journey of Kalinga Literature Festival by taking it to Sri Lanka. Honorable Minister is right here. I want to also thank you for giving me this opportunity. My book, Made in Nepal, which was just released here, was launched by the Harpers just on the 5th of Jan. And there couldn't have been a more appropriate and powerful forum than this one for this book to be unveiled in the midst of such luminaries and dignitaries. Thank you for accommodating, since I have to go tomorrow, to give me the floor and the opportunity to do it today, even before the Literature Festival is open in a true sense. You may wonder, in my introduction, I was introduced as philanthropist, as industrialist, as entrepreneur. Then what am I doing here? And what is Made in Nepal doing here? My book, my work. Actually, the journey really started back in 2009 when I was approached by one of the very well-known publishing house in Nepal to start a book on my own journey, Atmakatha. Another awardee of in this event from Nepal, Latika, is Unnati, is right there and shaking her head. Congratulations for your work. It was a journey which started in the midst of a Nepal which was moving politically during the 20 years of its journey in a manner where stability was something that every entrepreneur, every youth, every citizen was looking for. Nepal had a very fragile kind of a governance in terms of the stability of the government. We've seen 35 governments in 36 years' time. The book, people were losing hope. Many of them used to think that there is nothing that can be done. We've seen en masse migration from Nepal. We believe that close to 7 million Nepalese are living all over the world, and I'm not even counting India, during the last 20 years' time. I think the book, my Atmakatha, is a manifestation of a fact that you can still do things in the country where you are born, irrespective of politics, irrespective of people often use politics or the local social enabling environment as excuses for not doing what they need to do. The book, which was released in 2013 by Penguin, without any modesty, became one of the best sellers and remains a bestseller. Over 50,000 copies have been sold. It has been printed in 7 languages. And it carried the story from the beginning until 2013. I'm truly proud, amongst many things that I've done as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, even as a member of our foundation in philanthropy and social work, the kind of recognition, the kind of affection, the kind of love that I've received from the youth because of this book is unparalleled. I've met so many people in international forums in my own country where people have come to me. People have come to me and they've acknowledged that their lives have changed after reading the book. Why? Because I did not come from a very big, very wealthy background. I come from a very simple, humble background. I used to go to a Sarkari school. In your country, public school mean very well-placed schools like the Sanawars and the Doones at the Short. I used to go in a public bus to my school. My mother used to give me 25 paisa chawani for my tiffin. And there, nothing stopped me or the family for taking Nepal to the world. You know, when we talk of Made in Nepal, many people ask me why the book is called Made in Nepal, because there are many things in this book which is made in Nepal but served all over the world. And YY happens to be one amongst the many other things that we've done. Come 2013, new chapters were unfolding. The world has seen since 2013 to 2025 unprecedented events at the global level. Nepal has seen 2015 earthquake, which was unparalleled, which left 700,000 homes and probably 10,000 schools completely shattered. We could not even handle the assistance, foreign aid that the country was getting. We have seen the COVID, which changed the lives of everyone. We lost many dear ones and near ones. COVID resulted into change of how you do business, how you live life, and so on and so forth. So I was advised by my friends that you have to now write another part of the Making It Big from 2015 to 2025, and I started the work. It took me 4 years to try to capture, the kind of a journey that I've described, to a large extent that also extended beyond the frontiers of Nepal. And while the book it's very interesting, while the book had gone for publishing, and this was in September 2025, at the Harper's, the editing was done, everything was done, the book was under publication, and suddenly the Gen Z movement happened, 8th of September. So my publisher and my editor said, hey, come on, we got to stop here. We got to stop the book from going out. We got to restructure. We got to restructure not only the book and its content, but also the message. Making it big is about a family and a family's entrepreneurship. So it's no longer relevant. What we have seen during the Gen Z movement was a culmination of the 36 years of the frustration of the young people. Of course, there were many other elements which had different agendas from political parties or from the other parts of the society, out of sheer frustration, out of greed, out of jealousy. These elements got in, but fundamentally, it was a movement which was started with the pure intention of asking the bare minimum by the youth. They wanted good education, they wanted health, access to good quality health, they wanted a decent job, they wanted the support of the system and the society and the government to start small businesses if they wanted to. I think that's what provoked. That's what provoked the Gen Z movement in my country. So that means we were dealing with the mindset of the youth, mindset of a generation which was not happy. So it was a situation where it was time to talk about once again Nepal, the Nepal where you can still do things. And that's how we restructured. Instead of calling it, making it bigger, we called it Made in Nepal. Made in Nepal is a story of what a Nepalese, or for that matter, any investor from anywhere in the world can still do in Nepal. How you can take your business entrepreneurship, how you can take your journey beyond Nepal in the world. I'm a small man, I always say, from a small country, but with big dreams. When I launched YY in Nepal, I had the dream of making YY a global brand. It was something unthinkable 40 years ago, and people used to think it's crazy. But it's doable, and we've done it. So I think it's a story about hope. It's a story about addressing the aspiration. It's a story whereby we talk about a wake-up call to those who are in the helms of affairs. I happen to be one. I've been 3 times in Parliament, and I know the pains of the people in there and outside. So I think it's an important message. It's not only Nepal. My friend from Sri Lanka, Honorable Minister, is right here. They've seen this happen. We've seen it in Bangladesh. We've seen it in Madagascar. Indonesia almost went through it. I think the world needs to be rebooted, particularly the countries in our neighborhood and countries, some states in India also need to be rebooted. We need to realize our priorities. We need to work for the dreams of the new generation. I think Nepal is in the verge of a new political future. New parties have come up. We have elections on the 5th of March, and we are hoping that the dreams of the youth will take the center stage. Dreams of the Gen Z will take the center stage, not for the purpose of destruction, but for the purpose of construction and building a new Nepal. I think that's what this book is all about. And thank you for giving me, I've taken a little longer time than I should have. Thank you for giving me this floor and opportunity to showcase my work. And I would wish Kalinga every success in time to come. May Kalinga grow, not only in Nepal and Sri Lanka, but way beyond. All the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chaudhary, for your very inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very privileged to have with us today one of the most distinguished literary figures, not only of Odisha, but of the entire country, Dr. Pratibha Rai. A big round of applause, an eminent novelist, short story writer, poet and academic who is widely regarded as one of India's foremost literary voices. Her novel, Jagyaseni, an imaginative retelling of Draupadi's story from the Mahabharata, won her the prestigious Murti Devi Award, remains one of her most acclaimed works. Over a prolific career spanning decades, her writings have been translated into multiple Indian and foreign languages, bringing Odia literature to national and global readers. In recognition of her extraordinary contribution to Indian literature, she has received the Gyanpith Award, India's highest literary honor, and has also been conferred the Padma Bhushan by the Government of India. Odia Asmitar Pratika, Dr. Pratibha Rai, Odisar Garba o Gauraba. ओडिया साहित्यर इतिहास रे तांको नाम सबु दिन पई स्वर्णाक्षर रे लिपिबद्ध होई रहिबो। आमे जोरदार करताली सह तांकर स्वागत करिबा आ तांको तांकर वक्तव्य रखिबा पे अनुरोध करिबा।
जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे। कलिंग संस्कृति होची जगन्नाथ संस्कृति समन्वित संस्कृति। कलिंग पवित्र कलिंग माटी को आपण मानकु स्वागतम। शुभ संध्या, सादर प्रणाम। कलिंग पवित्र माटी को आपण मानकु समस्त को स्वागतम। शुभ संध्या, सादर प्रणाम। ऑनरेबल चीफ गेस्ट श्री कनक वर्धन सिंहदेव, डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ ओडिशा and Minister Culture and Literature, dignitary on the dais and august audience of the dais. I congratulate the organizers of the Kalinga Literature Festival, especially to Rashmi Ranjan Parida and CEO Sri Ashok Balji for making KLF an international affair, for creating a meaningful platform that enable writers to engage in cultural travel and the exchange of ideas. The desire to cultural and literary travel arises from an urge for exploration, an impulse deeply inscribed in the world's great literature. To encounter the cultures is to enlarge one's own horizon. Thus, Literature Festival becomes sites of creative pilgrimage where writers enrich one another's traditions and sensibilities. KLF has built a bridge, not only a bridge, a golden bridge, a speaking bridge in India and touching everyone, reaching everyone and enriching everyone, every citizen of India and abroad. In a multilingual country like India, almost a subcontinent in itself, it is not always possible for writers to travel widely, engage in intellectual discourse, or share their work across region. Literature festivals open doors to reciprocity, mutuality, and enrichment, encouraging writers to open themselves to the world through a shared cultural humanity. The loss or distortion of tradition is a grave cultural disaster. For tradition is the soil from which creativity germinates. When cultural heritage is disfigured or misinterpreted, it inevitably leads to human suffering. Writers, therefore, must remain vigilant and responsive. The mental ecology of individuals and of society at large depends on the vitality and sustainability of its literature and culture. While change is an inevitable paradigm of today's globalized society and literature, world regional literature emerges. For me, no literature is regional. For me, language is regional, but literature is universal. Festivals like KLF are essential to understanding literature in its full cycle: creation, reception, translation, production, publication, and dissemination. The Kalinga Literature Festival celebrates not merely authors and textbooks or texts, but a civilizational heritage inscribed over 2000 years in stone, palm leaf, manuscripts, myths, folklore, temple architecture, and collective conscience. Long before modern historiography, Kalinga wrote in its history through epics, legends, and architecture. Temples from Lingaraj and Rajarani to Konark are not lifeless monuments, but living literature rich with metaphors and cosmic imagination. The Kalinga War, which transformed Emperor Ashoka from violence to compassion, gave the world one of its most powerful ethical narratives, proving that while violence may conquer land, non-violence and love conquers history. At this point, I want to congratulate the writer from Nepal, Mr. Chaudhary. Everybody knows that Lord Buddha was born in Nepal, but he came to India to get enlightenment. Now we can understand the relationship between Nepal and India, how spiritual it is. I congratulate Mr. Chaudhary. Indian literature today is marked by complexity and vitality, shaped by postmodern demystification, yet rooted in a deep sense of community, extending not only to living but also to ancestors and infused with ethical and spiritual consciousness. For me, writing is freedom, a journey from self to selflessness, from the visible world to unseen horizon that binds humanity, nature, and the universe. While science has erased geographical distances, language barrier persists. No language is static. It grows by observing other languages and literature. In an age of electronic media and AI, writer must adapt it. I am not against AI or the technology. Writer must adapt it without losing their cultural voice and identity. साहित्य ହେଉଛି ମୋ ମତରେ ଗଭୀର ଅନୁଭୂତିରୁ ଜାତ ମୁଗ୍ଧ ଉପଲବ୍ଧିର ସୂକ୍ଷ୍ମ ଅଭିବ୍ୟକ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଥରେ କହୁଛି, ସାହିତ୍ୟ ହେଉଛି ଗଭୀର ଅନୁଭୂତିରୁ ଜାତ ମୁଗ୍ଧ ଉପଲବ୍ଧିର ସୂକ୍ଷ୍ମ ସକାରାତ୍ମକ ଅଭିବ୍ୟକ୍ତି। I foresee that the great literature of the future will emerge. I never forecast, but I foresee. What I foresee? I foresee that the great literature of the future will emerge from remote villages in mother tongues where imagination remains undazzled by excessive technology, where writers still dream in their own language. When I dream, we dream in our mother tongue, and the language in which dream, that is the best language to write. With this conviction, I extend my best wishes for the continued success of the Kalinga Literature Festival, hoping it will remain a luminous meeting ground of cultures, ideas, and creative minds for years to come. Thank you very much. Bande Utkala Janani, Bande Mataram, Jai Jagannath.
Thank you so much for your address. So, ମୁଁ ଭାବୁଛି ଗୋଟେ ଜୋରଦାର କରତାଳି ହେବା ଦରକାର. These are legends who are here with us today. ମୁଁ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରିବି, I request, there's a lot of murmurs that's going on while speakers are talking. I think it is not really very respectful to do that. So I request everyone to please focus while the event is going on. You can always network and talk after the inaugural ceremony. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are very honored to have amidst us Dr. Upali Panilage, Honorable Minister, Rural Development, Social Security and Community Empowerment, Sri Lanka, here with us today. A leader known for his focus on community welfare and rural resilience. Before entering public office, he has built a distinguished career in academia and development practice. A professor of sociology by training, he served as the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences at the University of Ruhana and earlier as head of the Department of Sociology, shaping academic thought and mentoring future scholars for nearly 2 decades. Beyond the university, he also had extensive international development experience, having worked for 17 years with Practical Action, a UK-based global development organization. A scholar practitioner at heart, he has authored and edited numerous books and research publications in areas such as rural sociology, gender and development, conflict and peace studies, social inclusion, and community empowerment. His presence at the Kalinga Literary Festival also holds special significance as KLF prepares to expand its footprint to Colombo, further strengthening cultural and intellectual ties between India and Sri Lanka. It'll be an honor to now request him to address this gathering. Let's welcome him with a warm round of applause.
All the respected dignitaries of the table, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor and privilege for me to participate in the inaugural session of the 12th Kalinga Literary Festival as a guest of honor. First of all, let me thank the organizers of the event, particularly Mr. Ashok Kumar Bal and Mr. Rasmi Ranjan Parida for this gracious invitation and for bringing together such an illustrious gathering of voices from India, South Asia, and the wider world. Kalinga is not merely a geographical name. For us, it's a living civilizational idea. From ancient chronicles to modern creativity, Kalinga has symbolized courage, conscience, and cultural continuity. It's a land where history and humanity meet, where memory transforms into meaning, and where literature becomes a bridge between past and present. For Sri Lanka, Kalinga holds a special place in our historical and cultural consensus. Across the waters of the Bay of Bengal, our 2 civilizations have been connected for more than 2 millennia. These connections were not forged by conquest, but by the sea, through trade, travel, ideas, and above all, values. Ancient Sri Lanka and Kalinga Desha were part of a vibrant maritime world. Sailors, monks, merchants, and scholars moved freely between our shores. Buddhism, which spread the ethical foundation of our societies, flowed across these waters, enriching both lands. Literature, oral traditions, and chronicles preserve these encounters, allowing memory to outline life. Today, as we gather at the literary festival, it's fitting to remember that literature has always been our most enduring vessel of connection. Political borders may change, economies may rise and fall, but stories endure, poems endure, ideas endure. They cross generations and geographies more powerfully than any army and treaties. In our contemporary world, literature carries an even greater responsibility. We live in a time of rapid technological change, information overload, and deep social anxieties. In such a movement, literature is not a luxury, it's a necessary. It nurtures empathy in divided societies, preserves truth in uncertain times, and gives voice to those who are unheard. Festivals such as Kalinga Literary Festival perform a vital role. They create a space for dialogue across languages, cultures, and nations. They remind us that South Asia's diversity is not a weakness, but a profound strength. They encourage younger generation to read, to write, and to think critically, which is the true foundation of democracy and social harmony. As a representative of Sri Lanka, particularly representing the government of Sri Lanka, I wish to reaffirm our commitment to strengthening cultural and literacy cooperation with India and especially with Odisha. There is immense potential for collaboration in translation, academic research, religious studies, maritime history, and contemporary writing. Such people-to-people connections enrich diplomacy in ways to informal agreement even can. Let us also remember that literature is an act of hope. Every book is written with the belief that someone, somewhere, will read, reflect, and respond. In that sense, every writer is a bridge builder, and every reader is a traveler. I congratulate the organizers of the 12th KLF for sustaining this important cultural movement with vision and dedication. I wish the festival every success and hope that the conversation begun here will continue long after the final sessions conclude. Before I conclude or wind up my speech, may I also kindly request the organizers of KLF to expand the scope of this festival to Sri Lanka and conduct next sessions in Sri Lanka. May the Sayas legacy of Kalinga and Lanka inspire us to deepen understanding, celebrate diversity, and shape a more humane future through words. Thank you very much, and Dandemar.
Thank you so much to the Honorable Minister for his address and his warm invitation to the KLF team to Sri Lanka. Well, that deserves another round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll also like to inform you that after the inaugural ceremony, we also have a session with Dr. Binod Chaudhary and Ms. Lipika Bhushan. So we'll request everyone to stay with us for that as well. मूविंग ऑन, देवी और सज्जनों, आज हमारे साथ मंच पर उपस्थित हैं श्री हरिवंश नारायण सिंह, राज्यसभा के माननीय उपसभापति, जो एक सफल पत्रकार, विचारक और लेखक के रूप में देश भर में प्रतिष्ठित हैं। एक किसान परिवार से आने वाले हरिवंश जी ने सीमित संसाधनों के बावजूद शिक्षा, संघर्ष और संवेदनशीलता के बल पर अपनी अलग पहचान बनाई है। लगभग 4 दशकों तक सक्रिय पत्रकारिता में रहकर उन्होंने बहुत अर्थव्यवस्था, समाज और देश दुनिया से जुड़े प्रश्नों पर लगातार लिखा है और प्रभात खबर जैसे अखबार को क्षेत्रीय पत्रकारिता का एक राष्ट्रीय उदाहरण बनाया है। एक लेखक के रूप में उनकी पहचान केवल पुस्तकों की संख्या से नहीं, बल्कि उनकी सोच, और विचारों से है, जो समाज, राजनीति और संस्कृति पर उनकी गहरी दृष्टि प्रस्तुत करती है। आज सांसदीय जीवन में भी हरिवंश जी मर्यादा, संवाद और संवेदनशीलता के प्रतीक के रूप में देखे जाते हैं, माने जाते हैं। मैं उनसे विनम्र अनुरोध करती हूं कि वे अपने अनमोल विचारों से इस सभा को अनुप्राणित करें। जोरदार तालियों के साथ उनका स्वागत करते हैं।
Guest of honor who has just left, Sri Honorable Kanakvardhan Singh Ji. Guest of honor from Lanka, Honorable Dr. Upali Ji. Mani Sri Suryavanshi Suraj Ji, who has just left, Minister of Culture and Sports, Government of Odisha. My esteemed colleague in Rajya Sabha and one of the excellent, knowledgeable member of Parliament, Honorable Sujit Kumar Ji, his name I am saying, maybe he may not be present now. Dr. Vinod Chaudhary Ji, who has been Honorable Member of Parliament in Nepal, and just we heard his very inspiring speech about his book. Padma Bhushan awardee Dr. Sudarshan Sahu Ji, Padma Bhushan awardee Dr. Pratibha Roy Ji. I have privileged today to meet her for the first time, but I can tell you that almost few decades back, as a student, I read her novel on Draupadi, which still lingers in my mind. मैं थोड़ा महाभारत से जुड़े पात्रों और पुस्तकों को पढ़ता हूं. I can tell you, her book on Draupadi is one of the best book still now in the country. So, Dr. Pratibha Rai ji, Dr. Soumya Ranjan ji, तान्या पटनायक जी, रश्मि रंजन जी और यहाँ सभागार में मौजूद सभी हमारे देश और देश के बाहर से आए माननीय सांसद, लेजिस्लेचर्स, इमिनेंट लिटरेरी फिगर्स, प्रोफेसर्स, चिंतक, साहित्य सेवी, साहित्य से प्रेम करने वाले मीडिया के साथियों, भाइयों और बहनों, First of all, I would like to congratulate all the awardees जिनको आज यहां सम्मान मिला. सबसे पहले उनका मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं. जब भी मैं उड़ीसा आता हूं, भगवान जगन्नाथ की पावन धरती, भगवान सूर्य की प्रकाश भूमि, महाप्रभु चैतन्य की भक्ति स्थली और प्राचीन सभ्यता और संस्कृति की यह धरती है, जहां कलिंग की इस धरती पर आकर सबसे पहले फकीर मोहन सेनापति का स्मरण होता है. सरल दास, जगन्नाथ दास, बलराम दास याद आते हैं. उत्कल कवि गोपबंधु दास, उत्कल व्यास, राधानाथ रे, इनके साथ अनेक बड़े लिटरेरी फिगर्स जिन्हें हाल में अपने कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस और लिटरेरी महत्वपूर्ण रचनाओं के कारण देश और दुनिया में सम्मान मिला. वहां आज होना, उन लोगों के बीच होना मेरे लिए एक यादगार पल है. 12वें कलिंग साहित्य महोत्सव में होना खुशी का क्षण है, कारण कि इन 12 वर्षों में इस लिटरेरी आयोजन ने एक अपनी नई पहचान बनाई है. अनूठा सांस्कृतिक उत्सव बन गया है कलिंग लिट फेस्ट. आई हैव बीन टोल्ड कि इस साल का थीम है स्टोरीज दैट शेप ह्यूमैनिटी ट्रांसलेटिंग वर्ल्ड्स ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग फ्यूचर्स. मेरी दृष्टि में साहित्य वह है जो मन को गढ़े, जो भविष्य की नियति तैयार करने के लिए समाज में वातावरण बनाए, माहौल बनाए. साहित्य या क्रिएटिविटी का असल काम है जहां होप नहीं है, होप को ढूंढना. मनुष्य जिस टर्माइल पीड़ा से गुजरता है उन पर नजर रखना, जिजीविका का सम्मान और बेहतर भविष्य का सपना गढ़ने की ताकत देना ही साहित्य का मूल काम. आज दुनिया टेक्नोलॉजी के एरा से गुजर रही है. मोस्ट चैलेंजिंग ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट हिस्ट्री में इसके पहले दुनिया जितनी तेजी से बदली, चाहे स्टोन एज हो, एग्रीकल्चर एज हो, इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन हो, और उसके बाद टेक्नोलॉजी के दौर में ये 4th इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन हम मान रहे हैं, उसमें जो परिवर्तन पहले हजारों वर्ष में होते थे अब वो चंद महीनों में होने के कगार पर दुनिया आज है. उस एआई के दौर में जब इंसान मशीन बनने की ओर है, तब संवेदना, करुणा, दया का प्रवाह साहित्य ही देता है। इसलिए साहित्य की भूमिका आज बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है और इक्वली अनुवाद की भूमिका। मैं आपको बताऊं, लॉन्ग बैक जितने उड़ीसा के महान साहित्यकारों को बड़े पुरस्कार देश और दुनिया में मिले, उनको आई केम टू नो थ्रू ट्रांसलेशंस। आई वाज वर्किंग इन वन ऑफ द बेस्ट सर्कुलेटेड वीकली पब्लिश फ्रॉम टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया लॉन्ग बैक, धर्मयुग। उनमें सारे यहां के महान साहित्यकारों के बारे में मैंने पढ़ा। इसलिए मैं कह सकता हूं कि यह कलिंग साहित्य महोत्सव की यात्रा इस बात का भी प्रमाण है कि रीजनल वॉइसेस जब सामने आते हैं तो वो असल पहचान के साथ आते हैं, उनकी गूंज दुनिया तक जाती है। उड़ीसा से शुरू हुआ यह संवाद, यह प्रमाण है कि आज साउथ एशिया और दुनिया के कई हिस्सों में फैला है। आपने नेपाल का सुना, आपने श्रीलंका का सुना, लगातार नए शहर, नए देश इससे जुड़ रहे हैं। मेरी बहुत बधाई। यह उत्सव सिर्फ लेखकों का नहीं, अनुवादकों और पाठकों का भी उत्सव है। यह इसकी खासियत है। तथ्य है कि लोकतंत्र सिर्फ मतदाताओं से नहीं बल्कि अलर्ट, जागरूक नागरिकों से मजबूत होता है। ऐसा नागरिक ही महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाते हैं। जब रीडर्स, कॉमन लोग अलग अलग भाषाओं के, अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस के, कल्चर्स के थॉटफुल आइडियाज, अलग अलग संस्कृतियों और विचारधाराओं की रचनाओं से वो गुजरते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, तो उनका मस्तिष्क एक बड़े धरातल पर सोचता है। हम असहमति का सम्मान करना भी सीखते हैं, हम डाइवर्सिटी को स्वीकार करते हैं। यही अनुशासन हमारी बहुलता को जीवित रखता है, यही हमारे लोको वैदिक परंपरा का मूल भी है। हमें बताया गया कि आज हम लेजिस्लेचर्स फॉर लिटरेचर पहल की शुरुआत भी शायद यहां कर रहे हैं। यह बहुत ही इनोवेटिव एफर्ट है। मैं आपको कह सकता हूं कि बहुत पहले द ग्रेट पोएट पीबी शैली, ऑलमोस्ट 180 years back, he wrote poets are unacknowledged legislators of the society। मैं उसका अर्थ आज लगाता हूं कि पोएट्स, राइटर, प्ले लिखने वाले, इस तरह के जितने क्रिएटिविटी के काम में लगे लोग हैं, दे आर रियल in real terms legislators of the society and their voices। बहुत पहले गोरकी के घर पर before 1919 revolution in Russia, a great political figure has told कि writers they are the engineers of soul, engineers of soul। आज हम उनके बीच हैं, हमारे लिए निजी प्रसन्नता की बात है। और यह पहल जो लेजिस्लेचर्स फॉर लिटरेचर की शुरुआत है, आई मस्ट कन्फेस एंड शेयर कि पब्लिक लाइफ में अक्सर सुर्खियां, साउंड बाइट और सोशल मीडिया की तात्कालिक स्थिति और प्रभाव क्या है, हम इसी से देखते हैं और इसमें उलझते हैं। लेकिन इसके चलते लोकतांत्रिक काम का गहरा मननशील आयाम हमसे ओझल हो जाता है। जबकि हर जनप्रतिनिधि, चाहे वो सांसद हो, विधायक हो, पंचायत का प्रतिनिधि हो या सोशल एक्टिविस्ट हो, अपने भीतर गांवों, शहरों, संघर्षों और समझौतों का मुकम्मल कथा संसार लेकर चलता है। यह पहल उन अनुभवों को नारे नहीं, कथा और चिंतन के रूप में सामने लाने का मंच भी है। यहाँ मौजूद पूर्व विधायकों और मौजूदा विधायकों को सिर्फ वक्ता की तरह नहीं बल्कि पाठक और विचारक की तरह जुड़ने का यह मंच अवसर देता है। हर कानून बनाने वाले व्यक्ति या पब्लिक लाइफ में पार्टिसिपेट करने वाला व्यक्ति, फ्रॉम पंचायत टू लेजिस्लेचर्स टू पार्लियामेंट, हम सिर्फ कानून बनाने वाला या नीति बनाने वाला या पॉलिसी में हस्तक्षेप करने वाला मान करना छोड़ दें। यह परिभाषा अधूरी है। वह समाज का श्रोता, वह समाज का साक्षी और व्याख्याकार भी है। लोक आकांक्षाओं को संस्थागत भाषा में वह अनुवादित करता है और ऐसे मंच उसके नॉलेज को इनरिच करते हैं। साहित्य इस क्षमता को धार देता है। वह हमें ध्यान से सुनना, मौन को पहचानना, जटिलता को समझना और आम शहरी या गांधी की भाषा और भाव में कहें तो समाज के अंतिम आदमी की गरिमा और उसकी फीलिंग को पहचानने का अवसर देता है। हमें आज दुनिया जिस कगार पर है, हमें गौर करना चाहिए। इसमें अनेक लिटरेचर, अनेक पुस्तकें ऐसी लिखी जा रही हैं जिस पर ह्यूमैनिटी की डेस्टिनी किधर जाएगी उस पर डिस्कशन हो रहा है। भारत में आजादी की लड़ाई में या उसके बाद, आजाद होने के बाद, किस तरह साहित्य ने समाज बनाने और समाज को गुलामी से मुक्त करने का बड़ा काम किया। वी ऑल नो हमारी ताकत हमेशा हमारी बहुभाषी बहुल साहित्यिक परंपरा और अलग अलग दृष्टियों में रही है। कलिंग लिट फेस्ट इस विविधता को एक रंग रस में घोलने की कोशिश नहीं करता, बल्कि उन्हें अपने मूल स्वभाव और सत्व के साथ संवाद में बदलता है। यह इसकी खासियत है। कलिंग लिट फेस्ट के जो भी संरक्षक हैं, संस्थापक हैं, आयोजक हैं, उन सभी का मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं। आपकी लगन, आपके कमिटमेंट से 12 वर्षों तक इस मंच को आपने जीवंत और सार्थक बनाए रखा। उन लेखकों, अनुवादकों, प्रकाशकों, विद्यार्थियों और पाठकों को भी जो इस उत्सव को अर्थ देते हैं। हम याद रखें, संस्थाएं लोगों के विश्वास और उनके पार्टिसिपेशन से बनती हैं। आज लेजिस्लेचर फॉर लिटरेचर के साथ इस उद्घाटन अवसर पर यह याद रखना जरूरी है कि लोकतंत्र को मजबूत और इनरिच करता है संवाद, आत्मचिंतन और उम्मीद। साहित्य इन तीनों का सबसे बड़ा पोषक तत्व है। कहते हैं सूरज की किरण हो या उम्मीद की अंतस उजास ही उससे भरता है, एक लाइट मिलती है, हमें एक रास्ता मिलता है। इसी आशा के साथ कि कलिंग लिट फेस्ट का यह पहल लोक जीवन, शासन, संस्कृति, शक्ति और करुणा के बीच एक सजीव पुल बने। आपने हमें इसमें सहभागी होने के लिए अवसर दिया, बुलाया, इसके लिए आयोजकों का भी पुनः बहुत आभार। आपने धैर्य से सुना, आपके प्रति भी आभार और धन्यवाद। मैं अंतिम बात, हिंदी के एक बहुत बड़े कवि हुए 60s में, मुक्तिबोध, साहित्य की भूमिका क्या है हमारे जीवन में। हिज मेमोरेबल लाइन इज आई एम कोटिंग जस्ट वन लाइन, एक पांव रखता हूं हजार राहें फूट पड़ती हैं। यानी जीवन में जब कहीं उम्मीद, रास्ता न दिखाई दे तो साहित्य आप पढ़ें, पुस्तकें पढ़ें, वो आपको रास्ता दिखाती है, वो होप देती हैं, वो भविष्य बेहतर करने की ताकत देती हैं। आज आप ऐसे कार्यक्रम में हैं, मैं आप सबको बधाई देता हूं, आयोजकों को धन्यवाद देता हूं। जय जगन्नाथ, जय हिंद, धन्यवाद।
आपके बहुमूल्य अभिभाषण के लिए आभार प्रकट करते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। बंधुगण, आम गहन वर्तमान आसी पहुंची पंडित हरमोहन खुंटिया। आमे अवार्ड टी से दे पारि नथिलु, ओडिशा लिविंग लिजेंड अवार्ड आमे तांको वर्तमान सम्मानित करिया पे चाहिबु। आमे जोरदार करताली सह तांकर स्वागत करिबा। पंडित हरमोहन खुंटिया मर्दला एवं तबलार साधक, संगीत, ओडिशा संगीत पे तांकर अवदान अतुलनीय। आमे जोरदार करताली करुथुबा तांकर स्वागत करिबा पे ओडिशा लिविंग लेजेंड अवार्ड। I'll request all our esteemed dignitaries to do the honors and felicitate him. While we were giving away the awards, he was not here, but he has joined us now, so we would like to do the honors and felicitate him right now. His musical journey spans several decades of performance, teaching and composition. He has dedicated his life to preserving and propagating Odisha's rich musical heritage, inspiring generations of musicians and dancers. It's a privilege that is here with us today to receive the award. तांको उपस्थिति पे आमे कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करुचे एवं यही सम्मान पे तांको शुभेच्छा जनाउछे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सो मच। Well, that brings us to the end of the inaugural ceremony. But like we have mentioned, we have another session coming up, Made in Nepal. So I request everybody to please stay seated for that. And meanwhile, we would once again like to thank all our dignitaries for gracing the inaugural ceremony. जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं हमारे सभी विशिष्ट अतिथिगण के लिए. Dr. Upali Panilaगे, Honorable Minister of Rural Development, Social Security, Community Empowerment. हम उनका thank you so much, sir. Shri Harivansh Narayan Singh ji, thank you so much. Of course, we are very grateful to the Honorable Deputy CM and the Honorable Minister of Odia Language, Literature and Culture who graced the inaugural ceremony. We are very thankful to Amar Sabu Bisishta Atithi Vrinda ko ame dhanyawad janauchu. That brings us to the end of the inaugural ceremony. Ame stage set kari, we will just quickly take some time to set the stage for the next session. But I'll request everybody to please remain with us, stay seated for the next session. Made in Nepal, Dr. Binod Chaudhary in conversation with Ms. Lipika Bhushan. Thank you. Haji, Haji. I'll request everyone, aap log please be with us. Please stay seated. I know. Wait. Good. Start there. Ladies and gentlemen, can I request everyone to please settle down? We have one more session and we want to start with it. Made in Nepal, we already have been introduced to Dr. Binod Chaudhary during the inaugural ceremony. For this session, he'll be in conversation with Ms. Lipika Bhushan, an award-winning senior publishing professional, has been a part of the KLF family for quite some time. मु समस्त को अनुरोध करबी पछरे भी जो माने अछंती आपण दया करी समस्त टिके बसी पड़िले आमे सेशन टा आरंभ करि पारथांते ता परे ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन क्लिक पिक्चर्स एंड एंजॉय अ डिनर network, talk, have selfies. Everything can happen after the session, but can we please request everyone to please take their seats for this session now? Mo volunteers manako anurod karibi to be a little active and ensure that everybody is getting settled. Volunteers, please do the needful. Tike pachare jo mane sabu amar atithi mane chida hoichanti तांको आपण माने अनुरोध करंतु से माने बसी पड़िबे आमे सेशन टी आरंभ करि परिबानी नहले We are already running behind schedule. We would like to start the session. The stage is already set, ladies and gentlemen. I'll once again request everyone at the back, volunteers, please, can you request guests and audiences to please take their seats? Oh my God. People are getting restless. Can we please once again request everyone to please settle down? Samasthako anurod bosiba pai please. We would like to invite Dr. Binod Chaudhary and Ms. Lipika Bhushan onto the stage. But before that, as a mark of respect, can I request everyone to please take their seats? I'm humbly requesting everyone to please take their seats. All right, they're already joining us. We have already been introduced to Dr. Binod Chaudhary. Joining him in conversation is with Ms. Lipika Bhushan, an award-winning senior publishing professional. She heads Market My Book, a leading publicity and digital marketing agency for writers and publishers. Founded Market My Book in 2013 after heading marketing in HarperCollins India for about 7 years. Since its inception, Market My Book has worked with several leading publishers and authors across the world. She's also a writer in her own right. Her poems have been published in Navbharat Times, Amar Ujala. Her essay has appeared in Global Pandemic Crisis, a series of literary essays on quarantine published by Transcendent Zero Press in the US in 2020. And her first short story features in the anthology When Mommy Was a Little Girl, published in 2022. So ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for both of them? And I'll request everyone, ladies here and everybody, can you please take your seats as a mark of respect? Can I request everyone to please take their seats? We need to start the session. Those at the back, ପଛରେ ଯୋମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି volunteers ମୁଁ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ଅନୁରୋଧ କରିବି ଆପଣ ପ୍ଲିଜ ଅତିଥି ମାନଙ୍କୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଯୋମାନେ ସେସନ ଆଟେଣ୍ଡ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ବସି ପାରିବେ. All right. So and maybe once everybody is settled, we can close the door, and people who are you can come a little forward. Those who are at the back, you can come a little forward. So I'll let Ms. Lipika Bhushan, she has been an integral part of the KLF family for some time now. I'll let her take this engaging conversation forward. Yes, mics please.
Check. I know, Kanishka told me, yes. Check.
Thank you. Namaskar, good evening everyone. Jai Jagannath, I would request everybody to please settle down because we are now, for the next at least 45 minutes, going to embark on a journey which everyone in this hall will take something away from. I can assure you that. 3 days ago when I got this book, and sir just asked me, have you read the book? I said cover to cover. It reads like a thriller. Though he did talk of it being a business book, which it very well is. But what I realize after reading it is that anybody who's interested in the history of this region, the recent history of this region, anyone who's interested in the geopolitics of this region, anybody who's interested in the socio-economic conditions of this region would absolutely get an insightful information on all the countries in this region around Nepal, not just Nepal. Sir, before I begin, do you know that you and I go back a long, long way, almost 28 years ago? How so? Can you guess? No, you can't.
I must admit that somewhere I was also getting that कि ये जाना पहचाना चेहरा है, मिले हैं, है ना? जरा याद दिलाएंगी?
बिल्कुल याद दिलाऊंगी, पर आप जब मेरी याद को याद करेंगे तो आपको शायद आप थोड़ा मुस्कुराएंगे. This was in 1997 when I got into a business school in Delhi, and वहाँ एक कैंटीन होती थी शर्मा जी की. And I think that was only the fewest of the spaces where we got YY. और हमारी जितनी मोहब्बतें हुई हैं, जितनी मुलाकातें हुई हैं अपने कॉलेज के लोगों के साथ, वो उस YY की प्लेट के ऊपर हुई हैं. So I know you from then. That time I didn't know कि वो शर्मा जी की YY नहीं थी, वो आपकी YY थी. But since we started on a note which is to do with your this brand that you've built across nations, I want to understand, and frankly, your journey throughout has been more like, as I said, it's a journey of thrillers. Why? Because suddenly we find you amidst these tall men with machine guns who are taking you away, and then they assure you that we are not kidnapping you but are ensuring your safety. So at every point in time, there are such episodes. And you very beautifully in the book, summarized it that coming from Nepal, we understand adversity and know how to handle crisis. It's our niche expertise. What is it that you've learned in all these years about, especially what is it that Nepal has made you learn about running your business in adversity? I would like to begin with that.
Thank you, first of all, for that beautiful way of introducing. Our association may not have been direct, but through Sarmaji and YY. Actually, it is so touching and emotionally moving when I say that YY is probably the only brand that I'm aware of which has become a global brand because of the 3 generations of lovers of YY who carried it with them wherever they went. Whether it was Nepal or some of the educational cities of India like Dehradun, Mussoorie, or Darjeeling, or Northeasterns. I'm talking about 40 years ago. Anyone who had it once, they fell in love with it. And they carried wherever, and wherever they went, we followed them. And that's how YY became what YY is today. But to answer your question, it's a very interesting observation, and I've tried to build on that observation. Somehow my destiny seemed to have been going in a path which was never crisis-free, And then actually, that's true. I mean, even in India, when we wanted to launch and bring YY to India, there was no way we could have launched it in Mumbai or in Delhi or in Calcutta or in one of these bigger cities, because we would be competing with big boys like the Nestle's of the lot, So we had to look for countries, not countries, states or areas, territories, where there was an opportunity. And that was Northeast. Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram. And that's how we started. The major Indian business houses, major Indian FMCG brands, they used to try to penetrate into Northeast by sitting in Calcutta. Their team would not even dare go to Northeast those days. Perpetual insurgencies, multiple power centers to deal with. I don't want to get into who's right, who's wrong, but that was fact of life. I've talked about it. There is nothing to hide. We've had our own share in Nepal in terms of political instability over the 36 years of time, and I don't want to go prior to that. Post multi-party system, we've seen 36 governments. Okay? We've seen huge change. We've seen change from a monarchy to a republic. We've seen 12 years of Maoist armed revolution. And we've seen recently the Jain Ji movement. So, I mean, you know, one's mental conditions, organizational conditions get tuned to be willing to venture in destinations where fighting with the crisis is a way of life and you got to learn to enjoy it. And that's what happened. We built it in Northeast, and Northeast we became so big that it helped us to grow in India and now beyond. I mean, we are in more than 80 countries. Africa, we are in parts of Africa. We are in Sri Lanka. We went to Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, the minister is left. I was telling him this afternoon. We went to Sri Lanka in 1998 at a time when not even Sri Lankan wanted to touch Sri Lanka. Yeah. And that's why Taj was prepared. Taj welcomed us because we did not have hotel background. We came from Nepal, and you know, to be partnering with Taj to do hotels in Colombo and Maldives, etc., would have been a dream, hadn't it been for Sri Lanka. So it's all a question of how do you craft, how do you develop your organizational resilience. You know, people still survive in some of these most difficult environments. It's a question of how do you navigate. Absolutely. How do you navigate yourself? How do you address the local challenges? How do you navigate against the geopolitical challenges, particularly the geographies that we come from? You know, that's a huge thing. So I guess that's what it is.
No, and absolutely. I think, and especially since you mentioned your foray into hospitality in Sri Lanka, just to lighten up a bit the conversations here, another question that I would like to ask you is in that regard, that you're in hospitality, you're in telecom, of course, FMCG is your core business. Which is the industry that you're yet to explore?
There are many. Thank you. Well, coming from a small country, you know, 40 years ago, 45 years ago, on one hand, we had unlimited opportunity to venture into new verticals, business verticals, and on the other hand, it was also a necessity. We had to diversify. We had to get into different industries because we did not have the opportunity to grow vertically. You know, India was not that open a market for us. And even when times and again it has opened, it has shut down from again, time to time, we all know. So that gave us an opportunity to grow into multiple sectors. But globally, we are growing more into hotels, more into YY, more into financial services, real estate, just a few verticals.
And from what I got to know also was that these leadership skills, the first one of being resilient, and several others that you talk about that come through your story in this book, are something that got identified very early on as a child. I would like you to share that episode, especially the one in the new school, where you were given a task by your teacher, which actually was the first time you did some business. I would like the audience to know about that episode.
Yep. Well, that's an interesting one. Yeah. I must have been about 12, 13. And my teacher, I was part of, I went to a vocational school. So as a part of our vocational training, it was not called a business session, but it was called more of a secretarial session. And then it also embodied, small management, business-related management skill development programs. And so my teacher said that, listen, you are going to operate a tuck shop. So the money that your mother gives you, I talked about it, the chavanni, you get together with other 10 students and put that all together as the capital, go out in the evenings and buy whatever the kids want to buy and bring up, and during the tiffin, open up the shop. And you got to deliver dividend. You got to give them profit. Okay, that's how it started. She, of course, was helping me, but it was me who had the freedom to choose my colleagues. We will sit there turn by turn. Someone will go out to buy. So actually, you're right. I mean, I think that was a huge learning.
That was where first you started team building.
I think you can say that. Yeah, you can say that.
No, and it's evident because there are so many episodes in this book from his personal life that we all can take away something from. Not just about business, and I will continue on that a little bit more, and especially on the connect with India, because in around 2006, when you were trying to set up your business here in Noida, Surat and all, you faced challenges. So it is slightly a political question, but a very natural one, because your last book came in 2013 and now it's 2025. Do you see a positive change, or, I mean, do you see any change for that matter in how India does business with Nepal, and how it has helped, has it created better options and opportunities for you, or it has become more tough?
Well, let's put it this way, that India had changed. It's not the same old India. I think we are talking about back in 2006 and before. India was to a large extent a closed door economy. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I would like to go back the Narasimha Rao ji's time. That's when
Yes.
Manmohan Singh ji came to the power. He was brought in to open India. That was close to 1992. Okay. But prior to that, Indians used to love to Nepal, come to Nepal to shop. They used to go, those who couldn't come to Kathmandu would go to the border.
Right.
Okay, to buy some nice chiffon and Georgette saris and things of that nature, and electronics. They used to love to come to Kathmandu to ride in a Datsun and a Toyota, or stay in a decent hotel, or go to the casino. That's what Nepal was. So obviously there was a built-in, hesitation to engage with Nepal in business in terms of how openly you want to deal with. So that used to change. It used to fluctuate. And as I said, that there is not one single India. India has so many different agencies. There are state agencies. Like back in 1994, post a new, 1992 actually, when Nepal had the multi-party democracy for the second time, India wholeheartedly opened the market. Indian multinationals started to go to Nepal, ranging from Livers to Dabur to anyone you can think of. Our exports to India started to soar. We were, I think that was one of the best phase of the economic development of Nepal in itself, both internally, because all the license Raj was done away with, the monopolies were done away with. But then again, within 3-4 years, we realized that the state government started to lobby, and the businesses in India started to lobby through the state governments, and the whole thing fell flat on the ground. So we've seen, and this is something which we talk to our friends in India, that we have seen that despite willingness to help both the sides of the businesses to grow together, there are so many different factors which is not allowed to take it to a level where it should be. Okay, having said that, India is the largest investor in Nepal. The trade with India is more than 70%. Albeit our export is 10% and import is 70%, which is an issue. And now, I think for the first time, we are beginning to see big-scale exports of hydropower to India, which is a very good news.
No, I mean, it gives a lot of insight into how Nepal views its neighboring countries. And especially, you have touched upon everything from Pakistan to Bangladesh to Sri Lanka to India, even to Southeast Asia, the countries where you have opened up businesses and worked. So it definitely gives you an insight into the economies or how the politics shapes these economies and how changes have happened in the several decades that you worked in these countries for. But sir, apart for all leaders, anybody who creates something, anybody who has built something so big, family is an important aspect. And I would now like to probably have you talk a little bit about your wife, Lily, and your children, and tell us how they have been crucial at every step of your decision making, and right up to the point where, in the last chapter when you talk about, how you're going to pass on your legacy. So how important for a leader is it to have a family which understands and goes along with his vision of what he wants to achieve in life?
Well, this is a very, very crucial question that I guess every business family, for that matter, every family needs to think about. There is so much of effort that goes in building something, a legacy. Particularly in case of business, the globally well accepted reality is that in 99% of the cases, the first generation builds it, okay, almost from the scratch. Second generation have seen the hardship that the first generation have gone through. So they partially follow the trail and they consolidate it. They make it stronger, they make it bigger. Third one destroys it. Okay, this is a fact of life, and we can draw up a huge list. Go back to 20 years back in the history of India itself. I think 99% of the business houses who were well known in India are nowhere in the scene, probably except for the Tata and Birla. Okay, so what is it that is more crucial than only building on enterprises and groups? The most crucial part is how do you work to create a system which builds an organization. It's not about my generation, my next generation, or the generation thereafter. How do you build an organization which will survive in perpetuity? That's the word. And that not many organizations, many conglomerates of India have been able to do that. I can't think of any other name other than Tata's where there is no Tata in the chair and still the group is continuing to grow because they've built that system. So in our own little way, what we've tried to do, because we are approaching the third generation now, second generation is pretty glued on, and that's why we are growing all over the world. But the generation thereafter, I think, needs to be put into a pattern, into a journey, into a trajectory where they are bound by the family constitution. And this family constitution is written with the involvement of serious people who know what can go wrong potentially. Not only the next generation of the men family, even the women. So that's a major element that has always often been seen, without any reflection on gender as such, but it's always often an issue. So what we've done, we've tried to do, and it's now becoming more professionally driven now. That, for instance, offline you mentioned about Parampara. Parampara is an organization now that specializes in designing organization for perpetuity. Okay? which writes family constitutions. It took us 4 years to write the family constitution. And I'm a great believer. I'm a great believer that it will continue. It will. We have all the basic pillars, all the basic ingredients which will see this organization continue to serve the society, irrespective of the ownership, in perpetuity.
No, absolutely. And the fact that it was well debated. Everybody was allowed to agree and disagree and put their points forth. And that's how you arrived at it. And I think all great leaders think alike. So this was something that was initially brought up to you by GMR.
That's right. Yeah, Mr. GMR, who's a good friend. I mean, he's the one who shared with me that he was, he initially put together a team of experts, and later on, then those experts started a company called the Parampara on their own, and he introduced me to them. I must give him that credit.
But sir, tell me something, what does it really take now that in all these years and decades of your experience of being a first generation billionaire, what would you suggest takes in a person to have that leadership skill and that vision, that big grand vision that you have? What would you suggest to audiences here that, what is it that they need to develop inside them? Or is it something that comes within the DNA? Or is it something that one can really develop within himself or herself? And this I ask as an entrepreneur, because, what are the key things that you've learned in life to grow that big?
Well, I would say, and I've said this before many times, and I've done a lot of introspection myself. First of all, there is no shortcut to making it big. Okay? You can't. By taking shortcut, you can do it for a while, but it doesn't last. There have to be some fundamental qualities, some fundamental convictions in you and the team that you build around. And I think entrepreneurship is something which comes by birth, no question about it. I mean, I have no hesitation in admitting. But then again, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. Like, I can give you an example. Bill Gates was an entrepreneur, but everybody who joined him became billionaires. So either you got to have that in you, or you can join someone who have that ability. Yeah. True. Secondly, as I said, there is no shortcut. There has to be a sustained effort, and it's a lot of hard work. Okay, it's because every day you are facing the changing world, the challenges of the changing world, particularly if you are transnational. Every country is different, every society is different. Competition. What was relevant yesterday has become completely irrelevant today. I mean, I can give you the example of companies like Kodak and Fuji, which did not realize that the digital photography was coming. Even a company of that scale, and they vanished. Companies, the automobile industry did not realize that the electric vehicle, EV, is coming. And they disappeared. BlackBerry did not realize that the iPhones are coming. Where is BlackBerry today? And most importantly, people are beginning to forget. People did not realize that it's not about producing a product. Okay? It's about connecting the demand with supply. Let's say, what is Uber or what is Airbnb? Uber doesn't own a single car, and it's world's biggest transport company. Airbnb doesn't own one single room, but it's world's biggest hotel company. So it's a power of idea connected through the digital connectivity. Today in this session, the gentleman was talking about the power of AI. AI is going to make another huge scale of change that probably many of us in this room can't even imagine. What is relevant today? For instance, a bank. We are in banking, and we used to think that the banks, the bigger the bank, the more the branches. And today the branches have become a big headache for banks because it's the age of digital banking. So it's a question of thinking a step ahead of others, remaining relevant, reshaping the organization and reshaping your own thinking, despite the enabling environment not being right. And that's where the problem is, particularly in developing countries. The governments are not ready. They don't want to, they reject new ideas. And that's why the Gen Z movements, people are not prepared to accept change. So I guess that's what it is.
No, absolutely. And thank you for that detailed input, because I think there's a lot to learn from that, at least for people who are themselves into startups and entrepreneurial journey. Before I touch upon the aspect of how you have been giving back to the society, I would like to delve a little deeper into the politics of and your own political career. So there is a very interesting part here where you've said that there is a popular belief in the third world that it is very difficult for a prosperous businessman to become an equally successful politician. Well-to-do entrepreneurs are usually seen as capitalists. People at the grassroots and established political parties alike look at them with suspicion.
Absolutely. I think that sentence says it all. I mean, I have no modesty that I got into politics because I wanted to see a change in Nepal, a change of a very big scale. I didn't need name, I didn't need money through the politics, but that's not how politics work. Politics, there are plenty of politicians who think politics is their profession. And they do not wish that those who are there to change the politics and through the politics change the country should not take the center stage. They would, so there is, I have no hesitation. I have not given up yet, by the way. I decided to contest election, and I was talking to my friend, the former Chief of Army Staff. We have an election on 5th of March. It's going to be a big decision because the whole social fabric, the whole political fabric is in the process of rechurning post the Gen Z. But I can tell you one thing, and that's what I've tried to share here very honestly, that what does it mean for a professional, or more importantly, a successful businessman to be in politics, okay, in a third world, where 2/3 of the parliament has been basically controlled perpetually by the leftist. So it is a challenge, but the world is changing. The aspirations of the youth is changing. People will have to change or they will get wiped out. That's what is my belief. Whether it's me or somebody else, it's going to happen.
And I think quite learning from your own entrepreneurial journey, what you did in order to become a successful politician was to go and live within the people, among the people, and build your own house there. And that's also a very interesting aspect in the book, which everyone should read. But among all this aspect of making money, loads of money, and also getting into politics to bring about a change, there is a very important aspect that reflects how you've been giving back to the society as well, and trying to do everything possible to bring Nepal, the kind of name it should get for the kind of resilience that it has shown. And that's where your foundation comes into being. While Forbes would have reported about the 2015, you were on the cover of Forbes then, and the 2015, post the 2015 earthquake, the kind of work foundation did. But I wanted to understand, how did this idea germinate in the first place? And I would like everybody in the audience to know this, because I think when you are in the process of making a lot of money, when is it that one decides that now is the time that I need to start giving back as well? Now I have enough to actually start giving back. Because this is a key question which comes to minds of many. And there are lots of such big, conglomerates, big business tycoons who have gone into this aspect. So, but when did you get this idea of, and what was the reason behind it?
Well, I think I would like to share two very critical issues when you talk about when is the right time. There is nothing called when is the right time. It has to be simultaneously. There is nothing called, okay, I will make X amount of money and then I will embark on a social journey or a philanthropic journey. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, either it's in you, is it the DNA of your organization, DNA of your family, or it's not there. Okay, I mean, one name that stands out in India when it comes to philanthropy is Tata's. Let's face it. And there are bigger companies and there are many more successful companies. I'm sure they are also involved, but it doesn't compare. Okay, the second thing which is equally important for people to know, that the times have gone after, let's say, the world became a more liberal economy. Okay, there were no restrictions. Everybody was free to do what they wanted to do. Consumer was the king. It's the consumer who decides which product to buy. So there is also an element of the appreciation on the part of the consumers that who's actually was serving the society. So it is also a soft marketing. You come from the marketing side. So it's not always 100% philanthropy. There is an element of working with the society and serving the society, which in turn translate into a positive vibes for your product and services. That's what I believe. Again, I would like to go back to the Tatas. We know very well. They are our partners. The moment anybody sees the name Tatas associated with any product, there is an inherent sense of trust as well as kind of a preference.
True.
Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I do. And I hope and pray that, the next time we meet, I'm grown a little bigger in my enterprise as well to start off something like that. But it's a fascinating journey to read. It's a journey that, and I would like to read a short passage again while we move towards concluding this session, which is that when I began my journey as an entrepreneur, I was a small man from a tiny country with big dreams. As I grew older, my dreams and hunger to build a business empire that touched every part of the globe grew bigger. It was not money or profits I craved. It was the thrill of that chase. How confident and comfortable has your wife been with this chase?
My wife?
Yeah.
Well, I think she's very much a part of my life in every sense, from a business to philanthropy to even politics. Even in my constituency, half of the work she does, She does all the dirty work, I do the good ones, giving speeches. Anyway, so I think it's tough. I think she has to share, I think every wife has to share the vision and the aspirations of the family. And I think she has to appreciate, not only appreciate, enjoy it. It's not a question of a compromise, because compromises don't last too long. I think it's a journey, it's a tremendous journey. Why are we still headquartered in Nepal? We want to be a global company, which we are. We are in all the 5 continents. We've been, without any modesty, we've given some world-class products and services. I can choose to live in London or New York or Singapore or Dubai. But I take a lot of pride in saying I am made in Nepal.
And from the land of Pashupatinath to the land of Lord Jagannath, we have made in Nepal, served right in Bhubaneswar. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to have this conversation and to know you through this book. I think it's a fascinating journey for me as an entrepreneur to learn and take away a lot from. As a marketing person, also to learn and take away a lot from. Thank you so much, Dr. Chaudhary. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. And it's really, believe me or not, it's been a delightful afternoon to be talking with you. And more to come. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Sure, for this wonderful, engaging session. I'd like to request Shri Rashmi Ranjan Parida, Founder Director of KLF, to please join on stage and do the honors to felicitate Binodji. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of day one, but of course we have a lot of activities planned for the next few days, so please be a part of Kalinga Literary Festival. Join us, with the same spirit and enthusiasm every day. We hope to see you, and as I've already mentioned, taking place across 5 locations simultaneously at Mayfair Convention and Mayfair Lagoon. So figure out which sessions you want to attend and accordingly be a part of it. Thank you so much. Good night and God bless. And you're already enjoying your dinner. Keep enjoying the dinner. Thank you.
So